Let's get it started.
This me every day. 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 Late night, you tryna be my bae, right? I can't afford expensive wines or all the trips to Dubai, but I can get you high as kites, and yes, that's edible. You sexual. I'm better not heat you up with just a text or two. I'm telling you, I'm hitting them spots like grease stains. Open legs wide, I'm feasting. I woke up high, can't meet me sober. She like the contact we made, and if I ever fall, I bet I get a dozen more. Right after I wake up in hotels, bitches pass out on the floor. No lie, can never tell your motives. Don't trip, can never be too much for me. Calm down and just respect this Doja. I'm high and don't want to hear you
Late night,
sleep.
what ain't the sleeping calling? Take flight, I'm tryna be with the stars tonight. No light, I feel the darkness falling. You right, I got lost inside the sky. I can't understand your motive. I drink until I can't feel the pain. I smoke until I think I'm floating. I'm woke, but I still can't seem to wake. Why ain't the sleeping calling? I'm tryna be with the stars tonight. I feel the darkness falling. I got lost inside the sky. Understand your motive until I can't feel the pain. Until I think I'm floating, but I still can't seem to wait. Same way, same way, same way.
Yeah. And I could drown in sleep, but I ain't tired. I ain't tired. You taking down for me. I get it right, oh, get it right. I fly away before I get my sleep. Yeah, I did my thing, my deed, I sent my peace. Yeah, dealing with demons, I got crawling in the sea. Came around some angels, now they crossing me. Yeah, you like rolling loud, I'm with rolling weed. Say I follow the truth and now it's stalking me. All in the booth, I let it loose and so now they all can see. Say I'm so faded, keep me on repeat. I've been so jaded, I need to find a way so I release all of this anger. I wind up taking it all out on me. Call up your number, thought I discovered a new route to peace. You in a slumber, can't fuck with bitches that ain't woke like me. I'm going under, I need to take a flight away.
Why ain't the sleeping calling? I'm tryna be with the stars tonight. I feel the darkness falling. I got lost inside the sky. Understand your motive until I can't feel the pain. Until I think I'm floating, but I still can't seem to wait. Late night, why ain't the sleeping calling? Take flight, I'm tryna be with the stars tonight. No light, I feel the darkness falling. You right, I got lost inside the sky. I can't understand your motive. I drink until I can't feel the pain. I smoke until I think I'm floating. I'm woke, but I still can't seem to wait. Same way, same way, same way.
What if recording high chord?
Welcome to my planet,
Yeah. Bitch, I'm on one. I got a lump sum. She gave me numb some. Shotty thick, she a hottie, she a bad one. Pull up on me, she gon' fuck me, give me noggin. I gon' smoke it up until I see mirages. Bitch, I'm on 10. Bitch, I'm on 10. Bitch, I'm on 10. If you got a problem, pull up with the mob. Some nonchalance, we head, I know options. Sturdy like my rider. I be my shot. We take no caution. I might spin a body. I might leave a nigga nauseous. Hey, staying cautious amongst the drama. She got all that attitude from her mama. I'ma hit it if she got a man, ain't got no honor. She know I'm as savage as it gets and she my karma. We in floor seats. She like come and floss me. Shit, we gon' see. She gon' pop it for a real, oh excuse me. She like diamonds on the link, so them hoes see. Bitch, I got the trap jumping like trampoline. Lot hoes on sun, spinning codeine. Bring another round, shot, shorty, she all on me. And I'ma take it down, spark sun, she ain't gon' leave, she wanna drown. Chop, wait, ay, up, jump, ay, 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 bitch, I'm on the way. I can't fuck with little mommy, she know my little babe. I got bitches pull up on me from behind the way. Ballin' like a, what you don't say. Bitches tryna be you, but they be posing. Like to keep her on my arm like a rollie. What her nose say? She be fucking like she tryna get some bills paid. She my bad little thing, she my little babe. Grab her ass when she walk, she gon' keep shaking. Shake, 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 shake. Bitch, I got the trap jumping like trampoline. Lot hoes on sun, spitting codeine. Bring another round, shot, shorty, she all on me. And I'ma take it down, spark sun, she ain't gon' leave, she wanna drown. Chop, wait, ay, up, jump, ay, 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 ay.
That is Vibes and Highs. If you're just stepping into the Doja room, you don't know what's playing. That is the mixtape that we just dropped on Friday called Vibes and Highs. It's me and the guys. A little collection of tunes and, you know, some vibes that you guys can just listen to. And, you know, I think I put a little bit of something for everybody in there. So go ahead and check that out. That's on all platforms, okay? And if you're just now joining in with us, welcome to the Doja Room. I'm your boy, Dope Boy Diesel, to all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts. If you have been tuning in with us every week, every day, that we go live, go ahead and hit us with a like. Don't hit the like button for me. Hit the like button for yourselves. Can you blow this up for me? Oh shit. Hit the like button for yourselves. Go ahead and get in here. And let's start to break down the things that we need to break down. All right. We're just going to go ahead and spin one more. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with the show, okay? But go ahead and check out Vibes and Highs. Again, we just dropped that. It's on all platforms by yours truly, Dope Boy Diesel. Go ahead and get into that, all right? And then we're going to play one more, like I said, and we're going to get into the show. This is Hinata Part 2, pinned by yours truly, okay? Let's spin this. You know I got to play this shit on the shit that I don't got the premium on, but and this shit is mad long too. Like, what's good with these niggas? The fuck? And they try. You see, this is why I don't fuck with anything that plays commercials, my nigga. I gotta have premium everything, my nigga, because this shit is just ridiculous. The fuck told you I wanted to watch this shit? We out here giving. I better get paid for that at this point, nigga. Let's spin this joint, and then we're gonna get into the show.
I'm amazed, something about your face. It's like you cast a spell on me and I cannot erase it. Can we change the pace? I I just need to say to act like we're okay. We being friends is crazy. Can I pull you to the side? Can you come go for a ride? I wanna take my time. Face to face is what I like. I think you're something special. If it's worth it, you can slide. Just know I don't wait in line. Hope you don't trip on my pride. Don't knock yourself, I think you're cute. I like it when you shy. You just my kind of sweet little baby, oh, you my type. We both ain't into parties, I'd rather go fly a kite. Turn something on, dim the lights. You playing, thinking you might. I'm just saying, only you the woman in my dreams, oh yeah. What I need, like you are my missing piece, oh yeah. It's a vibe in between us like a beat, oh yeah. How you like when we in between the sheets, oh yeah. I'm a beast, here to make you scream, yeah. Take a seat, I'll take you out to eat, yeah. When you need, just call me when you need, yeah. You and me, from me to you, I'm truly saying. Wild the way you style, just cause you know I'ma see you. Wouldn't mind minute of a morning waking next to you. You got that thing that I crave, it's like I start lying with you. And yes, I stay real hungry, babe, for the word I'ma give you. It make me crazy when you say my name. I get goosebumps, it's like poetry in every word you say. Your lips give me flashbacks when I make contact. I see a better picture in my view, you always saw that. Pop up when I'm lonely, it's magic when you arrive. I can't lie, I always like when you take me by surprise. I show you something different, I'll listen, no need to fight. But we can go a couple rounds if you with it all night. You a queen, you the woman in my dreams, oh yeah. What I need, like you are my missing piece, oh yeah. It's a vibe in between us like a beat, oh yeah. How you like when we in between the sheets, oh yeah. I'm a beast, here to make you scream, yeah. Take a seat, I'll take you out to eat, yeah. When you need, just call me when you need, yeah. You and me, from me to you, I'm truly saying.
Yes, yes, yes. That is Vibes and Highs. He Not Our Part 2. Lola Moons, we appreciate y'all for stepping in. Like I said, go ahead and hit us with a like. You're stepping into the Doja room. Go ahead and light up, relax. We're going to get into some topics. We're going to start off with the small joints and we're going to build our way up until the meat and potatoes of the day. So let me just say that there's been a lot of weird stuff going on in the community, and I'm surprised that our video hasn't gotten clapped from last stream because we went through a very 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 detailed accounting and just went through the entire case that Demore has on her mother Desiree Perez. So first and foremost, if you haven't already watched that video, go ahead and bookmark it. Okay, go ahead and save it for later. You're gonna want to keep that in the tuck because we go through the entire lawsuit. We go through Desiree's patterns. We go through every single thing that Demore is alleging at her mother. And it's just important because a lot of people in the community are seemingly are being silenced. Now we'll get to that in a minute, but I just wanted to say that to just say if you aren't updated on what we're going to be talking about, please go ahead and update yourself. Go ahead and bookmark that pinned video on my account. If you're on X, the last video or live stream that we posted on YouTube or Twitch or Rumble, if you're watching from Rumble, yeah, go ahead and bookmark and save that video because you're going to want to watch that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into a few of the topics that we have. Which is first and foremost, I want to go ahead and get into this what I seen here. DreamCon had a lot of clips from it, but I think this is the most popular one.
Oh, just real quick, we got going. Mike, hold it. Next, hold it. What we got going? Voodoo garden.
And got quick backhand.
No recording, no recording, no recording, no recording. No, that's my brother, nigga. Watch out, watch out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's get the other angle. L cameraman, but I guess he had to, not show all of that shit. You know what I mean? But we do got homie talking after. But real quick, I wanna get to the other angle of this shit. I want to get to the other angle of this shit because it's quite hilarious. This is one of the best angles of it right here. They got off. They got off. Choke slam. His man's tried to come through. Yeah, it was quiet. Now, I think all of this shit is it's definitely unfortunate for Hobie because this is the thing. You can't just be out here, and a lot of these streamer niggas, and I guess these niggas don't really know how the real world works, but you can't just be out here thinking you about to come run down on niggas. You're saying all of this weird shit and trying to get clicks and views at somebody else's expense, and you think they're not going to check you. First of all, it was just a dumb move altogether. Like, homies with his entourage, you thought shit was sweet. You thought, oh, ain't nobody going to do nothing to me. I'm at DreamCon. There's a bunch of security, this, that, here. Nobody wants to lose endorsements. Nobody wants to lose this. Nobody wants to lose that. But some people, they ready to crash out. Some people are just ready to crash out about the moneymaker, okay? You can't just be running up on niggas thinking you're going to be thinking you could just say whatever. Thinking this is going to be a game, thinking niggas is going to just, just be like, oh, all right, talk they shit, and then you's going to get on the internet talking tough like niggas ain't do shit to you. Niggas like this, they have these moments, and then they like to go back and say, hey, I said this, I said that to his face, and nothing happened. Well, every now and then you just need, you just need one little situation like this. It's just sometimes you just got to take this L and whoop somebody's ass. Because you got to let niggas know that you're not nothing to play with. Now, I don't understand, like I said, why homie went this route of I'm going to troll DDG, be calling him doo-doo garbage and doing the most. But that's what he decided to do. If you're going to do this, if you're going to do shit like this, at least have hands. At least have hands, my boy. Okay? Because it was unfortunate how you got packed up. So now he comes back and he looks like he want to sue. Nah. You can't play the, oh, I'm just here to have fun with my people and just chill. Like you was just minding your business and niggas came and pressed you. This wasn't like you was online saying this shit. You went up to niggas' faces. Like you was about that. Like you was really like that. You went playing in niggas' faces. And then you got packed up. So you're not about to play the, oh, I just came out here to have fun. I'm just minding my business, just having fun. Like, nah, nigga. That wasn't what you was doing. You was out here trying to be funny. When niggas whooped your ass. That's what happened. Nigga, your fit is trash. What do you mean the glasses make your whole fit? Nigga, what are you talking about? Yeah, see, you was over here playing fucking games. Yeah, nah, that's cause you thought it was sweet. This is what you basically saying. This is you thought it was sweet. You thought you could just go ahead and I'm gonna just play in this nigga's face, call him whatever, and nothing's gonna happen. Cause I'd never seen him do anything before. So, but I guess you just thought it was sweet, you know. And if you are pressing charges, I'm not gonna lie, that's some whole shit. But hey, you do whatever you gotta do, buddy. You do whatever you gotta do. But yeah, I know one thing. You probably gonna stop talking shit in front of niggas' faces like that. Bro, you couldn't read the room. You didn't see all those the crowd of niggas that basically was pressing you. Niggas started pulling up their pants, putting their phones away, and you thought it was all jokes. You still thought it was all. Then you went and said it again right after that. After you seen niggas pulling up their pants, putting their phones away. Oh yeah, hold this real quick. Doing all of that. You thought it was still a game. You thought shit was still sweet. Like, nigga, are you good? Like, are you serious? You can't be serious. You can't be serious right now. Yeah. I don't know who that nigga is, but he's soft. Like, you gotta stop playing with niggas. Stop playing around with niggas. Stop. Yeah, y'all niggas gotta stop coming up to niggas thinking that this internet shit, like, people ain't still willing to put hands on you. Like, y'all live too much in this internet shit, my nigga. Like, yeah, that's why I said I don't really go back and forth to a certain extent and beef with niggas to a certain extent online, because it's just like, you niggas have never seen real beef. You niggas have never seen real beef. You niggas have never seen real conflict. You niggas have never seen real shit in your lives. A lot of niggas parade around and act like they have, and act like they been here, and act like they done this and done that. But a lot of you niggas haven't seen shit. You ain't been through shit. And the most of you niggas who claim you been through shit or seen shit, y'all niggas are just victims. Okay? Y'all niggas are just victims. So you niggas ain't tough either. Just calm down. All you niggas just calm down. Okay? Everybody should just stop acting tough. It's not in y'all nature. It just doesn't benefit anything that y'all doing. So I don't get it. But let me just switch it back to this shit, because I didn't even play it.
You said it's a skit.
So everybody can
Like,
see
is that
it.
true?
Man, that ain't no skit. I got banned from the event. I can't go back now, and I'm not sure if I can go back next year, which I hope I can. You know, I spent a lot of money coming over here, trying to have fun with my people. And I'm not sure if he got banned from the event, which I assume he did, because that goes with his people. But I gotta let you know now. I gotta take legal action against him or his brother, somebody out here. That's unacceptable for real. They done broke my chain. I'm banned from the event. I'm over here. Glass is gone. I ain't got the glasses no more. The glasses make my whole fit. Come on.
But why did you call him doo-doo garbage? Like, why did you say that?
I thought it was all jokes. I never seen DDG react like that in the past. Never seen him tell anybody go do something to anybody else. So I'm thinking
He thought it was sweet. Like, you thought it was sweet. That's what happened.
it's all good.
You thought it was
it's
a
all
game.
cool. I seen him throw some gloves to some people that said it to his face a few times. You know,
So you thought you was gonna get your moment.
even if he did that, I would have been like, hey, my fault, man. Whatever.
And the thing is, niggas gave you a chance to do that. This is how you know this is cap. You just mad you got your ass whooped. Niggas gave you the chance. Niggas pressed you. Said, what'd you say? And you said it again, nigga. The fuck? You didn't say, oh, my bad. You didn't say none of that shit, nigga. Like, niggas is not trying to hear none of this shit. Niggas not trying to hear none of this shit. You're upset that you became a victim online. Yeah, and niggas seen it. For the millions and millions, probably billions of people at this point have seen this shit. Okay? You were made a victim. It's okay. Stop talking like that. That's all. It's just stop talking. Like some niggas just gotta stop talking like that. Like why do y'all niggas just talk like y'all really like that? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you not even trying to fight here. You're not even really throwing nothing. Like you didn't come to fight. See, if you gonna talk like this, you gotta at least come to fight. You gotta at least come to ready to throw your shits, nigga. You running away. See, if you was gonna be talking like this, you can't be doing all of this running and oh, I'm a victim and nah, you're not a victim, nigga. You're not a victim. You was talking crazy. You was talking real crazy. Is this what he is? He said, yeah, we're gonna go press him. It's another angle.
Don't run. Don't run.
You had the opportunity right here to be like, oh, all right, my bad. It ain't really that shit. Like, what did you not get with this, with him pulling up like this? Like, you don't know how to read the room. This is what I'm saying. You niggas ain't never been in conflict. You niggas ain't never been pressed or something, like or something. Cause how you not read when a nigga is pressing you, or a nigga is trying to press you, when a nigga is trying to check your temperature. You don't see that he trying to check your temperature right now? Like, yo, what you on, bro? Like, what's up with all that? And you getting all like riled up, and then you say it again. You say, look, how many times does this nigga say this shit? Nigga said this shit bad times. They about to refresh. I ain't gonna hold you. It should be fucking up sometimes, but you had wild opportunity. You had wild opportunity. Look, what you think that means? You don't see his hand? Nigga started wrapping up his hand, like, bro.
You alright? You alright?
Bro, they packing this nigga up. This nigga DDG like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't know what just happened, but that's what you gotta be. You clueless. Oh, I didn't even know all of that was about to go down. You see, I wasn't even in the camera view.
Hey, get out of here! Get out of here!
Nigga said get out of here. Get out of here for what, nigga? We ain't running from nothing. Yeah, niggas, you just gotta stop talking like that, bro. Like that's it. You just gotta stop talking like that, nigga. You not tough. You not tough. It's sad that you're a meme now. You know, it's sad that you a meme now, nigga. Sneeko said give Dub a UFC fighting contract immediately. That's tough, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. You gotta really you gotta calm that down. This is not your lane, okay? All right, so let's get into the next thing. We're done with that. Let's get into the next shit. So, let's see. We got Pusha T coming out. I'm guessing he did an interview somewhere. But he basically comes out and says UMG and Def Jam wanted Clips to remove Kendrick Lamar's confirmed feature from Let God Sort 'Em Out. But when they refused, UMG and Def Jam parted ways with the duo. So I'm guessing they dropped the album. Yeah, I thought y'all was about to do all of this promotion shit and do the same shit and spin the block and still eat off niggas' name. Seems like that's not happening. Niggas is tight that they can't do it. Seems like Pusha T wanted to revive his career, get him one, come spin the block. And, you know, niggas is not letting that happen now because we're currently in a lawsuit where we may or may not have been doing some nefarious things. He said after a summer of beef between their two biggest artists that resulted in a still ongoing lawsuit from Drake UMG blanched at a antagonistic optics of two of Drake's biggest enemies linking on wax. Def Jam eventually agreed to release the clips and drop Pusha as a solo artist, freeing the duo up to shop for a new home with the finished clip album. So they basically told them niggas, hey, drop that shit somewhere else. You ain't dropping it with us. You ain't dropping it with us, nigga. You ain't dropping it with us. We're not doing that. We're not about to do all of this promoting shit. And the K Thoughts are definitely in an uproar. They're in an uproar right now. They losing their minds. This just said all I'm seeing is UMG is scared of Drake, and they should be. UMG said the block is too hot and niggas snitching, so you gotta chill or bounce. That is funny, but I mean, like, look, Pusha T. We all know what this record is about. We all know what niggas are trying to do here. Nobody's stupid, and niggas can sit here and play this game and act like, you know, Kendrick and Pusha T are not about to get on here and diss Drake again. But who knows? They probably are. And most likely, when they heard what was on the tape, it's probably more of this pedophile shit. It's probably more you pushing pedophile shit and pushing this weird shit that's not even rapping no more. You just hurling allegations. And at the end of the day, that's what Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar obviously do the best. When it comes down to Drake, they don't have anything to rap against him. They don't have bars to rap back and forth at him with. So they wanted to drop a little project where I'm guessing they're taking shots at Drake. Most likely all of the time. Or the whole time, or the whole tape. Because these niggas got to continue to eat. Let's look at and see what some of the people are saying. It says Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T, if they never mention Drake before their album release. Them boys say y'all will be working at McDonald's. Let's see who it is. It said it always make me giggle and kick my feet when people try to diss Pusha T for not being the commercial rapper they seem to want. Pusha T has never been for commercial appeal. This man raps about selling coke and romanticizes that lifestyle with language, wordplay, and diction that would give William Shakespeare chills. Oh man. He's the soundtrack to transactions and meetings at the docks and abandoned warehouses. Oh my God. That's what Pusha T is for. Not your high school proms and trips to Target. Oh man, he's getting real deep. So let me ask this: how many of you hood niggas, West Coast niggas, have had meetings at the docks in abandoned warehouses? How many of you niggas was doing that? Most of you niggas can't even sell an ounce of weed. Fuck are you talking about? He ain't making music. He making music for niggas who want to be that. He making music for niggas who watch Scarface 36 times a year. Okay? That's who Pusha T makes music for. Let's just be real. The way this nigga is over here fantasizing and doing all of this shit, like, Pusha T is not Scarface. I need you niggas to realize that. Pusha T is not fucking Scarface. He's not all of this weird shit that you niggas think he is. He's just a man. And he didn't even sell drugs. He's not even like that. Okay? The nigga was scared of Stephen Joe. The nigga didn't want no problems with Stephen Joe. And Stephen Joe pulled up on him in Miami. The nigga was damn near shook. Eyes wider than a deer in headlights. The nigga is not, he's not like that. All of this abandoned warehouse, meetings at the docks talk, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, nigga, you good? Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it just goes to show that a lot of you niggas don't have any much substance without trying to eat off Drake. I guess this is just the time, the year, or the era to try to eat off Drake. But bro, you're a little bit of a year too late. You should have dropped this shit last year. Maybe it would have went. Maybe it would have went. It would have slid under the radar, and niggas would have gave it all these boosts. But see, niggas is not willing to push more of this pedophile slander shit that's not even rap no more. They're not willing to push that. Said Pusha T admitted he's fake towards Kanye. Oh yeah, let's get to that. I wanna get to that. I did see that. I did see that. Let's see exactly what he says. Is this what he says? Okay, look. It says he's usually invigorating to hear. Pusha talks his shit, but there's something sad about seeing such a prolific partnership end like this. He said, "We made some great shit, bro. We did." Pusha acknowledged. He says, "But let me tell you something. He's a genius, and his institution is even more genius level, right? But that's why me and him don't get along, because he sees through my fakeness with him. He knows I don't think he's a man. He knows it, and that's why we can't build with each other no more. That's why me and him don't click, because he knows what I really, really think of him. He's shown me the weakest sides of him, and he knows how I think of weak people. Well, if he thinks all this, like, if you think all of this about weak people and stuff like that, why sign him? Why be his, what are you, the president of good music or some shit like that, nigga? If you so much of a real nigga and you just really, like, nigga, you just admitting that you a bitch, that you a peon. Like, you had to be quiet so you can eat. You had to be quiet and work with a nigga that you don't fuck with, you don't really like that, because you a bitch. I mean, I don't get doing some shit like that. If I'm against everything a nigga stands for, I think you're a bitch. I don't even really think you're a real man. I don't understand how I can sit here and work with you every day and collaborate with you and sit here and play fake with you and shit like that. And basically what you're saying here is Kanye is such a real nigga that he can see through this shit. He's seen through me being fake. He's seen through me being fake, so you know, it just didn't work. It just didn't work like that. Kanye was probably calling you out on your bullshit. Kanye was probably like, "Yo, nigga, like, like, yo, bro, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, you act like you got a problem, nigga. What's the problem? You one of those niggas. Nigga asks you what's the problem. You like, oh no, nah, it's nothing. I'll be cool. Nah, chill. Yeah. Nah, I'm chilling. Nothing, bro. Nah, bro, what's good? What's the problem? You, nah, bro, nah, I'm good, bro. Nah, let's work. Yeah, let's work. Let's get it. And the nigga over here asking you like, nah, bro, you kind of acting weird, bro. Like, what's you kind of acting like you got a little attitude problem or something, nigga? You kind of acting a little sassy. Like, what's wrong with you? And he over here like, nah, I'm good, bro. It's all good. But now you want to come out and talk about you think he's not a man. You think you can tell when he's being fake with you. Like, nigga, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? You sound fucking crazy. You sound like a bitch. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't see how you sit here and collaborate with a nigga every day that you don't like. I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. If I don't fuck with you, I'm not about to sit here and play and fake kick it with you, nigga. I mean, you over here just what shutting up so that because you know this is your only avenue for a check. What's that? Who just got in?
Y'all know it is, boy DJ K Dub.
What's
What's up,
good? What's good?
genius? What's good, brother?
What's good? Yeah, we was just breaking
Yeah,
down some of this
nah,
Pusha
I
T
love
shit
that.
and
I
this
love that you
Kanye shit.
calling out. I love that you calling out Mister Braids over there, bro. He's bro is just he's the definition of lie. You gotta lie to kick it. Like, how are you gonna collab with someone you don't like on a daily basis?
Yeah,
Like,
man, like that's what I'm saying. Like it really don't make sense how this nigga is over here talking about, oh, he knows that I don't think of him as a man. He knows it. and that's why we can't build with each other no more. Like, well, how was y'all building with each other to begin with? This shit is just crazy. Did you already get to read some of this?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, no, I read that. This is ridiculous.
What's your opinion on it?
It's just like I said, it's lying to kick it. That's literally the easiest way I could sum it up. It's oh, he sees that he knows that I don't think he's a man. Blah blah blah. Last time I checked, you're not a man if you have to sell dope to live either. You're killing your own
See?
community. So like, who's the real fucking like? Kanye was out here blessing people in his community when he was on the come up. He wasn't out here slinging dope and shit. Like, you ain't Franklin Saint, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
This nigga Pusha
you know
T
what I'm
wasn't even
saying, bro?
slinging no
Like,
real dope, nigga. Like, nigga, you wasn't
that's what
even
I'm
doing
saying. You on
shit.
the low level. He on the low levels, bro. Like,
Most of these niggas can't even flip a fucking ounce, nigga. Most of
like
these
my
niggas
boy
can't even.
said, like the boy Drizzy said, you're an approachable dude, bro. There ain't no malice in your heart. Like,
Yeah, like, and that's why when it comes down to Kanye, I'll admit Kanye will say some crazy shit. Kanye might black out and he'll wild out or whatever, and you might disagree with Kanye, but like I said, you can't necessarily be mad at like you can't be mad at who Kanye is as a person
exactly. He
and
gives you
how
who he
real
is.
he is.
He
You know
gives
what
you
I'm
who he
saying?
is. Yeah,
Because
he gives you who
Kanye
he is.
would never work with a nigga that he fucking despises. Or either that, or he would say that shit right then and there, like nigga, I don't fuck with you, like fuck out of here. Like I just don't see it happening. Now Kanye might still have a conversation with you and talk to you and shit like that, but I don't see him.
Yo,
He's not. If he don't respect you, my nigga, he's not
we
about to sit
talking,
here and work with you,
bro,
nigga. He
bro.
don't
We
even like
talking,
broke niggas talking to him.
we talking about the same dude that Chance wrote the fucking verse of his life on Ultralight Beam, and he just said, "Boy, stop it." He's like, "You
he,
thought you really did something with that?" He said,
this is
"You really
like
thought you did something with that?"
he really don't respect. He really don't respect you niggas. And for this nigga Pusha T to come out after all of these years and be like, yeah, I don't really think he's a man. Like, nigga, put it in your rap. Say it. So, rap, nigga.
Yeah,
Rap. The fuck
no,
is you out
no.
here talking about?
If
Nigga, you
you, if
using this
you,
shit as a promo run? Nigga, rap. Or
let
you know
me
niggas is not about to hear that shit.
let me say this: you don't think he's a man, but you took his money for damn near over a decade.
Come on.
Come on, like what are we talking about?
You took this man's money. You was his president. You was the president of his company. Made music, collaborated with him, helped manage his artists, cleaned up his messes, defended him in the media and shit like that, and you don't even really fuck with the nigga like that. Like, what are you even talking about? Now you coming out now saying all of this shit, and then the shit that he's
That's what
saying
I'm saying.
about, and then the shit that he's saying about UMG and Drake. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I saw a little exchange you got into with the Kendrick fan about that, and I just want to say to all the people out there that are really trying to spin this and say that oh this is Drake's fault, rappers can't be themselves no more. It's like no, this proves even more so. If they really were artists the way that Drake is, and they really cared about their art, they would have just said like we leaving UMG and we just gonna release it by on our own. But see that song will never come out now because they're so scared of UMG. It's like, nah, bro. Like, don't twist it.
They trying
Like
to play
that's what
this
I mean.
narrative
Yeah,
like
bro.
it's because Drake is suing UMG
Oh,
that they can't put this music out and stuff like that.
because
Which
go ahead.
I expect Drake to call Cat at at some point too, because
Yeah.
I just don't see how you niggas think that they were gonna listen to the shit and be like, okay,
Mm,
well, you had to be saying some shit that's already tied up in this whole lawsuit.
Hmm.
for them to be like, okay, if you're gonna be talking like this or saying this, you're gonna have Kendrick talking like this and doing all of this, then we're not gonna do it. So
Because I'm telling you, Kendrick probably said some dumb shit on there.
that's what I'm saying.
He
They listened
really
to that
probably
shit and
said
they heard this
he
nigga
really
further.
probably said some dumb stuff. He probably doubled down on the certified lover boy line. He
Yeah,
probably said something like that.
yeah, undoubtedly. Like I definitely think he took his time to go ahead and just basically try to spin the block one more time, reignite the beef, and take the opportunity for him and Pusha to go at him again, so Pusha can drop his album and get his little. But my thing is, bro, you don't got to. You don't need a label. You big Pusha T. Everybody's sitting here
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
pushing.
Pusha
Hey,
T
you're
like
pushing
he's this
T.
big.
You're pushing T. You're
Drop
pushing T.
your music. Why do you need Def Jam? Why do you need? And you about to eat? You don't got no label. You don't have no label to be like, we gonna eat up off this and shit like that. You are the president of good music. You should know how to drop your music, my nigga. Drop that music. And
He
then
didn't learn anything,
to the
bro.
people who are in an uproar about this shit not dropping, when he does drop this shit, I hope you niggas support it without all the bots, without all the extra shit being paid for and all of that. That's why niggas is really mad. So without niggas doing all of this, and on top of that, Bush, who are you, nigga? Why do you feel like nigga, all of this shit is because UMG and Drake? That it's because these niggas don't want to push your mute, nigga. What do you think they? What's the benefit of dropping a Pusha T album, nigga? What label is gonna benefit off of dropping a Pusha T album? The fuck are you talking about, nigga?
Quick question. Quick question, Dylan. Let me see if you remember. When
Uh,
did he drop? When did he drop Daytona?
he dropped that shit when Kanye and Tiana Taylor dropped they shits.
No, but what had happened literally 3 weeks before he dropped it?
Oh, the beef. The
Exactly.
beef. And we were all sitting
Exactly.
there waiting for him to diss Drake again.
Exactly.
We were all
And
sitting
that's
there
the
waiting for him to
thing,
diss
bro.
Drake again, and then it had no Drake disses.
And that's the
We
thing.
thought
And
that was,
that, but
we
that's the thing. That's it. That's what it is. He wants. Drake said this in Family Matters, bro. He's like the only time your shit is relevant is when you mention my name.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I just want this trial to be over already, so people can really see once and for all what UMG was really trying to do. Like, and it's just sad that it's gonna take legal documents for people to fucking open their eyes. But you know what it is? Honestly, it's like we got to a point where I guess that's what it takes now.
My
Like
thing
because
is,
yeah,
this is what all of these niggas fight for. All of these niggas fight for 100% control. They fight for their masters. They fight for all of these things to be able to eat 100% or as much as they can off their own music and their own
yep,
product.
yep,
So my thing is, bro, drop your music. What the fuck do you need a label for to help you drop music for? What
exactly,
do you need a label to help you drop? Just drop your music. You're Pusha T, right?
yep.
Go ahead and drop, nigga. Kanye is out here dropping on his own website. He's not even
That's what I'm
or
saying.
under a whole different alias.
That's what I'm saying.
Just dropping on X, dropping on YouTube, dropping and deleting shit. He don't even give a fuck, and he's doing
Exactly,
numbers, nigga. Drop your
exactly,
shit.
exactly.
You talking so much shit about Kanye? Drop. There's
Hey, like
nothing,
my boy
nobody to
Drake
stop.
said, drop, drop, drop,
Yeah,
drop.
nigga,
Come on,
like
bro. Like,
drop it. If you and nobody can stop you from putting out what nigga. All Pusha T can go on United Masters, Distro Kid, whatever, right now and drop his music. Like, what are you talking about?
let's be honest. Nobody's waiting for a Pusha T project. Nobody's waiting for that.
Exactly. The only
Like,
reason
bro, I was
why
literally
they're
talking to my
waiting for a
girl.
Pusha T album is because he's linking up with Kendrick, and they're anticipating them to be talking about Drake. That's the only reason why
Have
this
you
is even a thing.
have you seen that clip of Big Sean when he went on Drake Champs and he said like, I don't think it was Drink Champs, but it was something. It was
You said
recent
who?
though. And Big Sean,
Oh, Big Sean. Okay.
he said y'all need to. He's like, it's funny how I'm seeing all these like conspiracy theories on the web, and it all just points back to Drake, like the obsession. He was
Yeah,
talking about Kendrick fans. It's
yeah.
like bro, I've never seen a fan base of someone else obsess over the arch nemesis so much.
And they swear it's us. Like
Like,
you niggas
bro,
won, and y'all are and you niggas are insufferable. Like apparently, like
man,
if you won, why do you feel you need to prove that you won so
what's up,
bad?
Matthew? How you doing, brother?
You know what I'm saying? It just
Hey
doesn't make
Diesel,
any sense. Yeah.
Diesel. I'm literally at the airport right now, near my job. Literally just ran into Master P. That shit was tight. Just randomly walking.
Yo, bro, yeah,
That shit was lit.
that man is a hustler. That man
I
knows how
know.
to. Now that's a man who knows how to, you know what I'm saying, not let
He
nobody.
would have told. He would have just dropped his shit.
He would have dropped it
That's the difference.
exactly under his
You
own
don't
shit.
care about no label, nothing.
What do you need that? And that's my thing. What do you need Def Jam to drop a Drake diss for? What do y'all need? What do y'all need a label for? What do y'all need? What do y'all need
Because they
help
need the
in
botting, they need the botting, they need the numbers,
the
they
radio
need
play,
the
the
radio,
money, the push?
the tweets, the A&R, the A&R. You know, like
Niggas don't
they
want to
need
step
all
out
that.
here. Niggas don't want to step out here naked on their own too. You
I'm
know what I'm
just
saying?
telling you, bro. This Iceman album is gonna be insane. I
He
think we're
can't
gonna get
count on.
nothing but bars.
He really can't count on Kendrick Lamar's fan base to prop him up and do what he needs them to do to really push it because they only going to show that support to Kendrick. So he knows that he's not going to get that same reception or that same type of support that how they support Kendrick. They're going to show pop out and show love, but he wants this album to be obviously he wants this to be some number one. He wants to buy a number one.
Ain't gonna happen.
That's how I take it.
Yeah, but Diesel, let's be honest, right? I think even with the push, it ain't going number one. Clips don't have enough fans. Like, ain't nobody trying to listen to boom bap, boom bop bop no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, but this what I'm saying. That real rap is back, right? Remember all of these
I know
niggas,
real
Screwface,
rap is
Thot,
back.
all of these niggas. Oh yeah, Kendrick's making real rap. He's bringing real rap back. Niggas is rapping again. All of this rapping, all of this beefing, niggas rapping. This is because of Kendrick. If real rap is back, drop your music. It's gonna flourish.
Exactly, it's
This
gonna
is the
flourish.
time for it.
It's gonna flourish.
Yeah, real
Meanwhile, you
rap
have
is
people
back.
like
Niggas is
Playboy.
eating it up, right?
But here's the thing: if real rap is back, why you doing? Why you executive producing and doing 3 songs with a mumble rapper?
Who knows?
Interesting, right? Interesting.
Who knows? But
But
you
real
know,
rap is back
everybody got
though,
to everybody got to choose their side. Everybody got to choose up. And you know,
and that's the thing. And that's the thing. I'm tired of people trying to play in the middle. You can't. Those days are over. You know what I'm saying? Like those days are over.
yeah.
You're either
I
pro
mean,
industry, which is pro Kendrick, or you're pro artist, which is pro Drake. Like
exactly. And,
there's no in
and it's
between.
starting to become that black and white because, like I said, you see this nigga is basically throwing a fit because the labels don't want to push his bullshit. They're already tied up. They already put a hold on everything that's. And like I said, I don't necessarily even think that they're blocking his album. I think he's playing it up and he's dramatizing it, because I feel like you really was trying to get off some bullshit on this album, and they were like, "Look, this is not the time for it right now because we're in however whatever way
We're
you
about
put
to
it, y'all
lose.
how
We're about to lose
yeah,
litigation,
like we're already facing legal action, okay, and you want to come back and do this in the middle of us facing legal action,
and you want to
or
post the
probably talk
dragon.
about us talk and being in legal action, whatever might be on
Yeah,
that tape or album. Okay, only they will know. So the fact that they want to try to spin it, really, all you have to do is wait until this legal shit is over, and perhaps a label will be willing to be like, okay, yeah, let's go, let's
we'll
do
take
it.
the
You
smoke
know,
from Drake.
yeah. Um, but And I don't think, like I said, I don't think Drake necessarily sues them or sues anybody, because when it comes down to the beef or whatever, like,
Yep.
it was just you niggas playing sides. It was you niggas trying to prop up one record over the other, trying to do, try to make one record seem like it was bigger than the other. I mean, it is what it is.
Not to
But
mention, you're trying to defame somebody's name just because you don't want to pay them the money that they rightfully got or
yeah,
deserve.
yeah, and like we see, the industry is not beyond doing certain things and carrying out certain actions. You know what I'm saying? As we're about to get to, the industry is not beyond this stuff. So, I think it's just real important that we. I think it's real important that we, like, you know, you got to fight against shit like this and fight against narratives like this, because
Hmm.
niggas are gonna continue to spin this narrative like, oh my god, we can't drop music because of Drake. Oh my nigga, what? You're mad because you can't diss him? You mad because you can't diss him right now? While the fucking label is in legal at having legal battles with him right now?
Exactly.
Like, come on. What are you even talking about? You're not even making sense. You're playing people as idiots. You're playing people for stupid people, which the only people who are going for it are the K dots. So I don't understand why he's trying to whine and bitch and complain and moan. Nigga, you're a Pusher T. Niggas know you. Enough people know you. So do your thing. Like, drop your music.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. But yeah, and I hope Kanye fries him in his next track. I haven't seen a Kanye rant yet, but Kanye did say that he forgives all his enemies or whatever, whatever, whatever. So maybe Kanye's not on that. Maybe Kanye's sticking to his word, and he's just gonna kind of stay out of it. He's not gonna say anything.
Yeah. Have you have you seen that tweet that's going around basically saying that Columbia Records told Nas to like edit Ether 3 times?
Had to ether 3 times. No.
Yeah, like so basically the story goes like okay, Nas had put he wanted to release Ether and the original version was just so crazy that they made him re-edit it, the vocals, like re-edit the lyrics. He had to do that 3 times. Yet they couldn't go to Kendrick and be like, "Hey, maybe not say the p word, bro. You can allude to something all you want, just don't say it." But yet we're the crybabies, though. We're the ones that are saying, "Oh, that's
So I'm
not
guessing this
right."
is what you were talking about.
Oh yeah,
He actually picked a different beat for the first version of Ether, which was produced by Swiss Beats. According to rapper and producer Large Professor, ex-member of the group Main Source, the song was faster, noisier, and the lyrics were more offensive than the final version on the album. Now, just like the album version, it had 3 verses on it. Unfortunately, only 2 of them got leaked so far. We only know about 1 bar from the 3rd verse, which referenced the plane crash that caused the death of the singer Aaliyah.
As a matter of fact, the first beat really
see what I'm saying, bro?
beat. It was a lot more energy and a lot more hype.
I'm sure you heard of, what I'm saying, the Dame Dash plane crash and all that, the shit with the rhymes and shit.
No,
it's like,
actually,
sorry, Aaliyah. I'm sorry it was you in the plane crash. It should have been Jay and Dame Dash. He was getting at him. That was the original lyrics. Yo, it should have been you in the plane crash. You know all of that. When the original, those was the original lyrics.
You said that Nas watered down his lyrics for the final
did.
hate there because I guess he took out the Aaliyah.
Yeah, for sure.
The 3rd verse on the album version was actually supposed to be Jay-Z's burial. It was twice as long as the first 2 verses, more personal and more vicious. Jay kinda did the same on the takeover. The 3rd verse was added later on and is actually longer than the previous 2 verses. So Nas might have tried to mimic that song structure. But Columbia Records was seemingly unhappy with his lyrics on the original version and made him re-edit the vocals up to 3 times. He apparently had to take out a few lines as they were too controversial. So in the end, he decided to scrap the whole song and start from scratch. They unfortunately have destroyed the original masters, which means the original version will most likely never come out. The only traces left are the first two original verses in text form, which I will now talk about in detail.
Damn. So, wow. Um,
So UMG Columbia Records could do that. Like UMG can't go to Kendrick and be like, hey, um, let's not say pedophile.
uh
I'm just saying, bro. It's just
like
man,
it's just interesting because, like I said,
the
these
rules
people
change so much,
continue.
bro.
Yeah, they continue to try to rewrite history and make it seem like Drake is doing all of these things as if this is the first time all of these things are happening. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time an artist has sued his label. Like it's the first time an artist has said, "Bro, you're not about to just say this and you know what I'm saying and hit niggas with a defamation lawsuit," or the first time an artist has fought for his money, because at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. But niggas are gonna try to paint a narrative, and even when it comes down to Pusha T, all of this is to paint a narrative to make himself seem like some type of victim, and so he can garner even more support for his project. So
Right.
he has something on his project. He doesn't want to change it. He doesn't want to revise it. They're telling him, well, nigga, if you don't want, and this is just my opinion of what I really think is happening. They're telling him, look, bro, if you're not about to revise this shit, we're not gonna put it out. It's just that simple. If you're not gonna revise this record, we're not putting it out. And he said,
Exactly.
well, if you're not putting it out, I'm not rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, and I'm telling you, they're probably like, well, look, you can put the record out, but you can't do it with us. You can't do it over here. It's not happening. You're not gonna be able, if you're not gonna revise the record, you need to put it out with somebody else. And now he's trying to come back and make it seem like, okay, I'm a victim and these people are, telling me that I can't drop no music. He's playing up to this whole act, but it's like, bro, we're not stupid. We're not dumb. We know what this whole thing is about. We know what you niggas are linking up for. Okay? No, everybody can see this shit being telepathed from a mile away. And because niggas know what y'all niggas are about to do, you're trying to make this moment, take this moment to further garner more, support for your album. So, I mean, it just is what it is. And then on top of that, I almost forgot the one comment. Let me get to that
Oh, to the
real
little
quick.
back and forth he got with the little kitty thing.
Yeah, apparently he says when he comes down to Drake suing UMG, he says, I don't rate him no more. The suing thing is is bigger than some rap shit. He's like, damn, it's like it just cheapens the art of it once we gotta have real questions about suing and litigations. Like for what? For this? For
Yeah.
calling a nigga, you want to be able to call a nigga a pedophile and not have no repercussions. That's your art. That's the art this nigga is
But
talking
let
about.
but let somebody talk about Aaliyah who actually died on a plane. And oh no, Nas, you gotta change that. And nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah, these niggas want to play double standards. They want to sit here and play to this narrative and play to Kendrick's base that Big Bad Drake is blocking this album from coming out. They want to position themselves as the underdog because it's favorable to their narrative. It's favorable to their narrative, and it makes the K thoughts even more rabid. It makes them want to listen to the music even more. It makes them want to push these narratives even more. It gives fuel for them to continue, because at the end of the day, these niggas don't have anything to talk about besides Drake and posting Kendrick being on tour every 5 seconds. Okay, basically doing nothing every you know what I'm saying. So it's like they don't really have anything to talk about unless they're talking with or arguing with us or trying to
Yeah.
bait us into some shit. So at the end of the day, the same thing goes for Pusha T. Pusha T is exactly what you see online every day when we're going through watching these people and going back and forth with these people. He is exactly who we're talking to online. He wants to sit here and be like, "Oh man, look, Kendrick is doing this and Drake could never." And it's like, bro, you don't know how to big up your artist without thinking about this nigga at any point. Like it's always everything is always a subliminal to Drake. Everything is always mentioning Drake or it's like one or the other. So it's like I don't really get why you guys don't have content unless it's you doing some weird shit like this. It just doesn't really make sense. So I don't know, but I don't rate him anymore, nigga. We don't give a fuck who you rate. Your rating, your top five is probably trash. The fuck are you talking about? Your top five is probably trash. Nigga outbarred you. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, he stopped. His music was stopped when he was coming at you. Nigga stopped his record from coming out at you, nigga. The same thing happened. So what are we talking about? Nigga spared you. Spared you. Cause Drake was obviously willing to go into a dark place that he like, you know what? And the big homies told him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you know what? You're not gonna go that far. Fuck that. But this nigga knows that he needs another paycheck. It's about time for another paycheck. What has Pusha T been doing since I don't know Daytona? When was his last hit?
Who?
Pusha T. I'm just
Pusha
saying,
T?
like, yeah, like what
I
has he been
want to
doing
say
lately?
the last song that I remember. Shit, dude. I'll be honest. It was way before Daytona. It was way before the beef. I want to say that one song that he has with Tyler the Creator, "Trouble on My Mind." That's the last song I remember, and that was like what 2012. Like he sucks, bro. He's annoying.
What is it like? It's like, what waves have you been creating? What news have you been in? What have you been doing? So I mean, it sounds like them pockets they ain't hitting for what they what they usually hitting for. The whole everybody let's diss Drake. That gravy train has came and went. Now you trying to hop on it late. It's like, bro, you should have came. You should have came when it was the time to do that. Now you want to hop on the shit late, and niggas is like, bro, we don't give a fuck if you are dissing Drake. Like they on some real shit. They probably told you the shit was just trash, and they didn't want to drop it. They told you they don't give a fuck if you dissing Drake or not. They don't give a fuck if niggas is happy you dissing Drake or not, nigga. That shit is 2 packs of ass. That's probably what they really told you. I'm just being honest. And now you got to come back and flip all of these narratives and shit like that. But bro, relax with all that shit. If you got some fire, drop your fire, nigga. It's gonna do what it do. Or are you scared of selling 11K? Which, let's just be realistic. Pusha T drops, nigga. You're gonna sell about shit. If you sell 11K, that might be generous. It might be generous if you do sell 11K, 10K, 9K. That's probably your ballpark. So relax. But let's go ahead and get into the next topic. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the next shit because now we got to get into things that are a bit more serious.
Yep.
So apparently, now let's go ahead and pull this up. Apparently, Desiree Perez has been hitting people with the DMCA notice and the copyright strikes to small creators because she doesn't want us talking about her. Okay? Now, again, we dropped the other day a 4 hour breakdown of Demore's lawsuit against Desiree Perez. And we were fortunate enough to not have any interference with that. So I'm gonna need you guys to go ahead and, like I said, it's pinned in my on my account on X. Go ahead and retweet and hit that with a like, because it's important that we continue to spread messages like that because of reasons like this. Okay, so Miss K, she basically blew the whistle on what's going on with her getting hit with a copyright strike, and you can see it's here. It's from Desiree Perez, um, in the in some weird ass company. I'm guessing the company that she used to go after everybody who is reporting on the case, and that she got hit with a copyright strike, and even further, she was hit with I believe she posted a video. She posted the video of um you know she posted the video of Demore talking on the case, which is the NBC News 6 interview that they had with Demore, and they basically went through a little bit, very surface level. They didn't really even dive into it really, but they gave a little bit of what was going on with Demore and what her lawsuit was about, and gave, I guess, basically the meat and potatoes of the matter. Um, but ever since then, it seems that Desiree has been striking small creators and trying to silence us and trying to stop us from talking about this whole thing. Even Got the Scoop has been getting attempts of people trying to log in to her iPhone or to her account from a different iPhone in Pakistan. Okay? Not once, not twice, but several times. Okay? He says another person from Pakistan trying to log into my Instagram too. What the fuck y'all want to see? Y'all made it to my Facebook, but I was quick enough. IG got to try a little harder. They're trying to get all the accounts clapped. Okay? It's important, like I said. We did a breakdown on the entire case that Demore is suing her mother with. It's important that y'all watch that before shit like this starts going on. Okay? It's important that you guys inform yourself. I mean, even if you don't watch it yourself, go and read the documents yourself. It's a read from start to finish. You damn near reading a fucking novel. You know what I'm saying? A graphic novel reading that case. So, even if you don't want to sit through my breakdown of it, go ahead and read some of those pages yourself. You know what I'm saying? For the people who are not afraid to read. But go ahead and read through some of that yourself, because it reads like a graphic novel. And the stuff that is going on, like I said, it shows how much power this woman has and the things that she does to not only her daughter but other figures in throughout the industry. I even had to start thinking about, well, damn, you know, it seems like even the people who are just in general speaking out for Tory were starting to get clapped. Think about Chris Brown for a second. Chris Brown was showing support for Tory, free Tory, saying this and that. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, niggas is bringing up 2-year cases of some bullshit, and he's getting arrested. His entire tour was threatened, and you gotta then question yourself why. You gotta start to question yourself why. You gotta start questioning yourself. Well, who is sitting here willing to be just digging through and just waiting on Chris Brown? I mean, how many times has he even came out and went through there before they decided that they were gonna lock him up on some frivolous shit? So I don't know, and I don't know where that goes from here. But it makes me wonder: is it because he was speaking out on on Tory's case, and maybe he was not only speaking out just in in a Instagram story form, but maybe there's some shit that Chris was doing behind the scenes to support Tory and help Tory out. That you know, I'm just saying, I wouldn't put it past this woman at this point. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's important that you guys go and watch that video, retweet it, and like it before something happens, because at this point it's a possibility that any of us speaking about this case, speaking about this shit, can get hacked, can get our can get a copyright strike, can have our livelihoods and the shit that we're trying to build taken away from us. So it's just important that we support and stick with each other, and we show the creators who are being attacked. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I know Miss K. Like, she's one of the main people who really be putting on for Tory. She does more than, I don't know, a lot of the people I know on here. I probably only know one blogger that puts on for Tory more than her. And she is out here, going live almost every day because, Tory is still locked up. Now, the only person I know who puts on more for Tory than her is Milagro. Cause Milagro and Tory have been, a little bit shaky with her going through all of this legal stuff. But Milagro's account got suspended as soon as she started talking about this shit. As soon as she started talking about this shit, her account gets suspended. Not only does her account get suspended, throughout a bunch of this shit, her YouTube kept getting clapped. I don't know how many of her pages are down. I believe she might still have her station head. But other than that, her ex account, she's just been under constant attack. On top of that, she's facing a lawsuit from Megan Thee Stallion and RocNation that are really just trying to silence her and put to bed anybody who would dare speak on Megan Thee Stallion, Desiree Perez, RocNation in a disparaging way. And if you are speaking on Tory's behalf, if you are supporting Tory in some type of way or fashion, in which I think that's what Chris Brown was doing, then even you're not safe either. So, she's gonna dig. She's gonna have these private investigators looking you up and seeing and poking holes and seeing how they can attack you and silence you. And this is what they do. I mean, shit, Milagro probably not even safe right now. I hope she, if I was her, I would be going live 24/7. I'll be live 24/7. Got different phones on, all type of shit. Cause the way this woman moves with these private investigators following you and doing all type of weird shit, you can't put it past her. Okay, you can't put anything past her. So even academics commented on why he is not really speaking.
Somebody said, I'm diddied out. Do y'all want to? Yo, chat, I'm going to be honest with you. And this is with the closest people I'm very cool with. Bruh, I've been telling y'all about RocNation. RocNation currently is doing something that, for all the people who claim it's not about Tory, RocNation is intentionally harassing, bullying, trying to take down many young. Listen, they're not me. Again, I don't got money to bang with RocNation. I don't want to go to war with them. I told y'all that already. I'll apologize to JC. I'm good. I know how to pick my battles. That's why I'm undefeated in my eyes because I don't take losing battles. RocNation is out here deleting people's pages, bullying, doing a lot of things that in hip hop, all those people who hate me, they would normally call out, but not one of them are calling those people out. So it becomes upon me, and I'm like, all of these guys that when they be talking shit about me, I let them talk shit about me. Nobody ever steps in. Rock Nation is now bullying other young creators who just they're reporting regular shit, and nobody's saying a word. For that reason alone, I don't know if I want to talk about Rock Nation today. You know why? Because when you don't, when y'all don't hold everybody else to the fire, when they're cowards, and I stand up here and I say everything, and y'all know they criticize me and use everything to my detriment. When y'all don't hold them other cowards to the extent of it, actually, let's talk about it. Because you know what? I'll call people out. I'm a little lit. Perfect. And I'm going to challenge the Joe Budden podcast. I'm going to challenge the Breakfast Club, especially the Breakfast Club. Because a lot of y'all shit seem to be coming from a heavy Rock Nation influence place. I'm challenging the Breakfast Club, Joe Budden. And again, nothing wrong with
A lot of
Joe
them niggas
Budden's
is
podcast.
not about to talk about
but I'm
it.
only calling them out because of their size.
They're not.
You guys have a very huge platform. Now, I'm trying to say, I don't want to fight no battles by myself.
It's like I said in the space that I was in yesterday. Yesterday I was in Club Paradise, and we spoke a little bit about exactly this. So many people in the industry have skeletons in their closet. They have so many skeletons in their closet, and they play up to these facades, and they talk like they have room to speak on certain things. And really, they stay away from certain topics and don't speak on certain shit, because if they did, they would be exposed too. Their brands would be at risk. Their money would be at risk. That's why a lot of these niggas don't even say shit. And that's just the truth.
Because half of y'all, not the people I named Breakfast Club or Joe Budden podcast, want to see me go away, but there's a bunch of other facetious members. So all the, the rest of them, they're just not relevant for me to name. The point is this: if I really wanted to sit back on this Rock Nation shit this week, because if I see nobody speak about it, y'all should know what it is. Rock Nation is using heavy-handed, somewhat maybe possibly illegal tactics to silence opposition or criticism of them and their employees. Remember back in the day when I started throwing up the rock and I started saying, I don't want no beef with these motherfuckers? Y'all say I'm pussy. You could call me pussy, but if I'm pussy, what are the other people who don't speak about them at all? I'm the first one who told y'all the reason Bobby Shmurda's career is in shambles is because of Rock Nation. Rock Nation did so much shicey shit with Epic. Epic wanted no parts to do with Bobby. They said, y'all go get him.
And not only Bobby Shmurda, but think about the countless, the countless athletes that they've taken, the artists that they've taken, and fiddled with Megan Thee Stallion herself, how they snatched her up and took her. These guys have a history of basically strong arming their way into power, strong arming their way into these certain industries and shit like that. This is why Jay-Z can step into certain places and certain industries, because he has a woman on his right hand who is going to strong arm everybody and remove anybody standing in their way. And all he has to do is be Sean Carter and be completely, aloof. Just act like he knows nothing about nothing. He stays away from shit. And I think that, Jay-Z, he knows a lot of the shit, and he knows how Desiree Perez operates. But for the most part, it just seems like he stays out of it, because we don't hear shit coming from Jay-Z. He doesn't speak on anything or any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They never have, so I wouldn't expect him to now. But it just goes to show, like, these people can just strong arm their way into any industry, just how they did with sports. And when it comes down to getting these clients and shit like that, they have too many tools at their disposal to get shit done. They just have too many tools at their disposal to get shit done.
But we gonna have to fight it out on a legal perspective because we own him and y'all been interfering with our contract with the nigga. So now Bobby Shmurda gets no support because it's gonna be a legal fight. They try to do it with Uzi. They did it with Meg Thee Stallion. I've been telling y'all this. But again, let me tell you this. I'm not Jesus. I've never told you I'm Jesus. Never confuse act for the one that says, no, I'm just here to die for y'all sins. No. So when I look around and I see, ain't that Debo? And everybody was like, nah, we gonna fuck Debo up. Yo, let's ride. Everybody was ganging up with me like, all right, let's ride. I show up. I look around and say, where y'all at? Everybody at home. Everybody like, oh, I couldn't get a babysitter. I'm not fighting Debo by myself.
They
So
all got
I
those
told y'all I
skeletons.
want no smoke with RocNation. And I
They
still
all
don't
got
want
those skeletons in them closets.
But I do want y'all to hold these other media outlets accountable. Let me tell you what's happening with RocNation. I don't necessarily care about Desiree Perez, who's the CEO. By the way, if you don't know her history, 6ix9ine first mentioned her back in the day. Desiree Perez is a woman who used to be doing things in
and that's another one too. 6ix9ine was calling her a snitch, calling her this, that, all type of shit. Look, 6ix9ine been having it rough ever since. He been having it rough ever since. I'm not gonna lie. 6ix9ine been trying to get back. He won't never have no career in the music industry and be back at the level that he was if RocNation and Desiree Perez have anything to say about it. And that's just telling the truth.
Accordance with drug dealing. She was working with the cartel. She was transporting drugs. She got caught. Her boyfriend or whoever else she was dealing with at the time, they were also involved in the drug trade. She took a plea and she was a state's witness. The same thing. This is why 6ix9ine was confused. Why does the industry bow to Desiree Perez, who was this is known, who cooperated against the cartel, but they're down to oust me because I cooperated against the 9 Trey gangsters. At that point, everybody had every excuse. Oh, well, she's a woman. You know, you got to treat women like retarded kids. You can't, like, a man snitching, problem. You can't fuck with him. A woman snitching, come on. It's a woman. All right, bet. You got it. So 6ix9ine told us about it then. I and other people have told you about their tactics afterwards. I talked to DJ. I don't want to bring other people into it. When Uzi was going through all that shit, RocNation was in Uzi's ear, my nigga. Okay. I talked to 1501 and all those people because they sent me all the court documents. I said, why y'all got beef with Meg? RocNation is trying to steal it from us. RocNation, and again, I'm not really even attacking Jay-Z specifically. I'm just saying that organization, this is why I said, I always told you it's better to be liked than to be right. They operate under Jay-Z's credibility and love that we have for him as a cultural figure and a great rapper that really, it's a reason why that nigga said we done with Neil and we said.
And this is why Jay-Z stays away from, this is what I just said this a few minutes ago. Jay-Z stays, aloof and like he doesn't know what's going on because, as academics just mentioned, they have to operate under the goodwill that Jay-Z has, because when we hear RocNation, we don't necessarily, up until recently, we don't necessarily think Desiree Perez. When we hear RocNation, we think Jay-Z, we think Beyonce, we think Rihanna. We don't necessarily think Desiree Perez. And that's RocNation's shield. That's the guys that Desiree Perez moves and operates under. So when these things happen, you don't necessarily think twice about RocNation or the people who, RocNation uses as a human shield. You don't think anything of it. Because at the end of the day, all of these people's interests are being served. So they don't have anything to say about it, of course.
Colin Kaepernick, get the fuck out of here. Rock Nation has been doing some of the scummiest shit in history that if we were supposed to actually, if it was a white-owned organization and Jay-Z wasn't the face behind it, we would have said this is the equivalent to any type of slave type of corporation. But once Jay-Z is associated with it, we let everything fly. Trying to take black artists away from black independent record labels, bullying tactics, suppression. Now we're seeing in this current situation, they're using
And think about it. Once Jay-Z started doing his thing with the NFL, all of that, the NFL is racist and this, all of that shit went away. Think about how powerful those white men see Jay-Z and Rock Nation as. Jay-Z came up in there and said, "Look, man." And this is what he's just speaking to say that they have the goodwill of Jay because Jay-Z comes in and automatically all the NFL is racist, kneeling down shit, all of it ends. All of it stops. It almost seems like when we look back at it, it almost seems like it ended overnight. And it's hard to think that shit was like damn near like a decade ago. But yeah, it's like that.
Falls an illegal DCMA, or is it DMCA? They're using false copyright claims to bully and harass and try to threaten to take people down that they don't speak ill of Rock Nation. I've been telling y'all this for the longest. They're the closest thing to the Illuminati. I know y'all expect to see a white face, but it's been Rock Nation all along. I've told y'all this. I'm just not willing to fight this battle by myself because with any rapper, I feel like I could take on. I watched a couple rappers. I don't think there's a rapper that's been successful against me. Not in the long run. I don't want to fight against Rock Nation. I told you, I threw my hands up. The towel's already in the ring. It's an act. You don't want the squabble? I don't want it. I need y'all, if y'all give a fuck about this when y'all tell me to speak about it, go get y'all other podcasters to speak about this. Ask the Breakfast Club why they're not talking about the fact that, and if you don't know what's going on, I won't even bring it up because this is a very weird and iffy area. Desiree Perez, the CEO of Rock Nation, she has a daughter. The daughter's dating some dude she don't like. She think the dude's a bad influence, whatever. It's a mom. She started to use her power and influence that came from Rock Nation to essentially put her daughter in a mental institution hold that her daughter is now suing for. And her daughter is exposing information to say, yo, my mom, she's always used her power to bully and harass people. She hacks pages. She will do things to eliminate the criticism or the other side. I've told y'all all this. Y'all didn't give a fuck. So I know sometimes y'all couldn't be like, yo, act, it's your turn. I'm like, no. I've been saying this. Get them to talk about it because everybody else, and actually, and I'm not speaking, I should give some more examples, but they're irrelevant. I know half of these media outlets are funded by Rock Nation. Funded by, I want to say it again.
So they ain't gonna say a fucking thing.
By Rock Nation. They won't say a word.
Now, and then we even seen even when it came down to the people who employed Demore, Iconic Creative Agency, Liz and Benny, they did everything that they did to Desiree's daughter out of them working for Rock Nation, Rock Nation being a company that I guess subsidized them or whatever Rock Nation is to them. And they basically solved their financial troubles like that. And they were basically became Rock Nation lapdogs. Just by them just go taking that taking the time to say, hey, we'll handle those books for you. We'll handle those financial woes for you. We'll take that in our hand. We'll take that in our hands. But we just need you to do something for us. Okay? Very simple. And these two are probably like, wait, shit, that's all you want us to do? Is set your daughter up with a couple of meetings just to make sure she's good and better health or whatever? Sure. No problem. They probably didn't think twice about it. But that is how the industry rolls. That is how this shit goes.
So when y'all tell me to come speak out, I'm like, y'all basically keep telling me that I need to go play Russian roulette every single time. It's only a matter of time before they get me out of here, right? As great as you could be, look at Floyd. Floyd could be 50-0. If he keep taking fights against the best opponent, eventually you probably know he'll lose. The point what I'm trying to say is this. And I know you're saying accurate yapping right now. I want to pull up an article, but what I see all of these little woke motherfuckers, I see there's channels dedicated to making videos about me. If you've ever gotten a DMCA notice or DCMA notice, it never came from me. I don't use YouTube or otherwise to try to curate the conversation. I might not like it. I might call you a bozo, but I don't do that. And if you've ever heard someone say that, you should ask them to prove the filing. Hey, well, if somebody takes down your video, show us the Academy or academics taking it down. I didn't take it down. Those people are probably lying if they ever said it. What I'm telling you now is that RocNation and their CEO, Desiree Perez, and this is why I'm not pulling up a video of theirs, and I'm only speaking. RocNation are out here bullying independent creators and any media platform who chooses to speak or give their opinion on something that seemingly is obvious. What is it? It seems that Desiree Perez and RocNation are getting exposed for their power, their reach, their manipulativeness based on a lawsuit that came out. And by the way, I think I got the lawsuit. I'm going to scroll through the lawsuit because there's nothing they could DCMA me over with the lawsuit. Okay. Give me one. Academy. When I'm giving my opinion about Tory. Is this it? One. Y'all got me locked for 8 hours as long as y'all. Is this it? They have a stake and an incentive to keep Tory Lanez locked up for the 10 years or to have Tory eliminated. Now, I'm not accusing them, or I wouldn't even insinuate that they would do it. But what I'm saying is that they don't want Tory here. Okay. So when y'all keep saying, yo, why don't you just, bruv, do you get what I'm saying? I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this for a year. Let me see if I can find. Oh, actually, no, it's on the Academy. The Academy.blog. We got the whole thing. Look, we got the lawsuit. We got the work. Now, I'm going to scroll through this. We ain't even going to look at it. Y'all could go on the, listen, this was so important. Usually for some civil cases and documents that we pull, you'll have to be a Patreon member to see the full thing. We just put this one for free. You don't even got to be a Patreon member. But y'all go read it. I won't even read it on stream. Everything I've been telling y'all, just go read what I said. This is her own daughter alleging these things. This ain't me. Remember, Ack is just, he's just mad because it ain't me. Her daughter, Desiree Perez, RocNation, do what that you will. But I'm not going to be the one walking you through something I've been telling y'all, okay? They're at the point of a little bit desperation. They're down to eliminate people's channels, file lawsuits, injunctions. And here's the thing with them. Look, this is her own daughter saying this. Do I got to read this? Unfortunately, has illegal tactics to get her way, even if it requires wearing rubber gloves, providing false information. In addition to be the CEO, she's a part owner of the company. You see the names. I don't want to keep reading it, chat, because y'all keep thinking the enemy has a Caucasian face, But I'm telling you, they have empowered somebody that has a black face that owns a company that we think is cultural. They move like the white man. I want no smoke with RocNation. I've told y'all this before. And if y'all ask me, I will defend Jay-Z and Desiree. Yes, call me pussy because I don't want no beef with them. Okay? Just look. Just look. She has an army of tech staff with access to the best technology that money could buy. Has a team of attorneys at her disposal. Despite her current position, her background and discreet rise to prominence was highly unusual. Her past abandonment of her daughter is the root cause of their current friction. Didn't I tell you this? She participated, Desiree, in a federal drug trafficking activities in the 90s under a prior name, Desiree Reynoso. Following her indictment and arrest, she was originally sentenced to 30 months in imprisonment. However, she became a confidential. Y'all say I don't like snitches, but that's what y'all say. Y'all say something, then go to something else. And provided information. Again, chat, I want to just back up from this. When you see real power, let me tell you this. It took about 45 minutes of me on a dry erase board to dismantle Meek Mill's career. Lil Baby, I derailed everything he had going on with about 2 weeks of planning. RocNation, I wouldn't even touch whatever they got going on. I apologize. Just remember I told you that. I would rather go with Drake, who's my man. I'd rather go with him than go with RocNation. I want no smoke. So again, I'm not going to be the person who, like, I ain't going to be the guy who be like, y'all remember Act? Yeah, I ain't going to lie, man. Yo, he was violating a lot of people. He was giving us the truth until RocNation called him. I'm not Jesus. Y'all ain't going to sacrifice me. Go get them other outlets to talk about this and spam it in their chats, in their comment section. Why you not talking about RocNation? When y'all get that answer, I'll tap back in with y'all. Figure out why they don't talk about this, and I'll tap back in with y'all. Anyway, look. While engaged, she gave birth to her daughter in 1994. She continued to engage in criminal conduct. Look, it's a lot of shit. This is her daughter.
And again, if you want a full breakdown of this, I know Ak is just running through and skimming through all of this, but we do a full breakdown on this just a couple of days ago. We did a full 4-hour breakdown on this whole thing. If you're really interested in what this case does, we go page by page through this entire case, okay? So if you want to do that, if you want to listen to that, if you want to hear exactly what's going on, I suggest you guys go ahead again, hit that link. It's the pinned tweet in my profile. Go ahead and watch that if you want to really get a breakdown of this case, okay?
Order saying it. Remember, Ak is this weirdo who don't really know nobody. I'm just talking shit. Now her daughter is saying the same thing, and nobody gives a fuck. She was eventually sentenced to 9 months. Okay, because she violated federal probation. By the way, keep in mind all the rappers who claim they street, who's associated with this organization, and is said by her own daughter in a lawsuit, in a federal lawsuit, that it said her own mom became, chat, I don't want no smoke. Stop telling me to get smoke with them. Y'all not going to get me to go squabble with no damn RocNation. RocNation is the army, better yet, the label and the goddamn motherfucking militia. They're everything. I want no smoke with them. Anyway, the point is, y'all could go look at this. It's free of charge on my website. And if my website comes down, y'all know what it is. I don't have anything more to say about this. They're talking about illegally record people in their bedroom, hacking iPhones, unlawfully detain people. Chat, I want to stay out of this. I'd rather go at UMG.
And again, he's not wrong. This, if you look around and you see the people who are reporting on this and talking about it, it's only people like us. It's only people with a couple hundred, a couple thousand followers who are actually even speaking up, and even some of us are getting clapped. Like even some of us are getting silenced. So that's why I said it's so important that we do go ahead and go through the entire content. And they probably didn't clap my video because I did a whole 4 hour breakdown, and it's damn near impossible for you to be like, this is some is beyond fair use or some shit like that. It was a 4 hour breakdown with the video in there and other things, and us going through the whole clip. So they probably can't even clap. They probably can't even clap that. You know what I'm saying? But because we dive so deep into it, it's way off the radar as far as us not remixing the content and making it into something original. So they can't really say nothing to us when it comes to that. So who knows? There could have been attempts, but it's just important that we continue to do this because we're the only people who it's almost like we have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? And when I say we don't have anything to lose, we don't have the skeletons in our closet that the people on the Breakfast Club or the people on the Joe Budden podcast or the people on all of these little places and podcasts and shit that are funded by RocNation. You have even podcasts, you know, that they talk their talking points and they're not going to speak on certain things. So it's only going to take the brave few to go ahead and carry this shit out. It's gonna take people like us to continue to come out and you know it's gonna continue to be a uphill battle for people like us, and but it's gonna be up to us. It's gonna be on us. So if we don't do our due diligence and if we don't make shit spark, if we don't make if we don't kick up dust and make this shit, it turn it into a whole fucking a whole fucking whistle blowing event, a whistle blowing festival, then I don't know. I don't know what happens to Demore. I don't know, if her. I mean, me personally, if like I said, if I was people like Milagro, if I was people like Demore's husband and stuff like that, I wouldn't feel safe. I wouldn't feel safe. I would keep that thing on me at all times, 24/7. I would make sure, yeah. I hope this nigga, he in Florida. I hope he got that concealed carry, um, and I hope he got that thing tucked, cause, even when you look, and I went ahead and pulled up Sig9. Now, Sig9 is the private company that you know or the private investigators company that basically were the ones who, along with Dr. Bobber, uh got Demore committed. So they all, I guess, conspired with Dr. Bobber and Desiree Perez, and they put her. They're the people who put her in the unmarked truck and basically took her to a facility when she was Baker acted. So these were the people that Desiree worked with. Okay, um, and you can see it says Sig9 Global offers a vast range of high caliber private security and consulting services that will manage and complete our clients' needs and preferences. Okay? So it says we seek talent that is eager to join the team and contribute to achieving Sig9 global vision. So they're trying to really build themselves up to like some type of fucking global security force, my nigga. Desiree Perez, think about it. Who's to say that she doesn't have own part of this fucking shit? Who's to say that she hasn't bought into this to make these guys so complicit to do illegal acts and do illegal things? I mean, if they were willing to do it, who's to say that she hasn't bought in? Who's to say that she hasn't, look, I'm going to solve this. I'm going to give you guys some money. I'm going to hook you guys up with some clients. and now they work for her. She basically has like a fucking militia. These niggas are over here calling themselves a fucking global task force or some shit like that. What the fuck do these niggas think they are? They got armed guards. Look, private investigators. Okay? It says Sig9 Global assist in creating a strategic plan and execution for investigative case needs. All accepted investigate case plans will require a retainer. So you can request these guys to just basically pop up and just investigate whatever you want. And here's the services that they investigate: from insurance fraud, attorney services, loss prevention, asset searches, workers' compensation fraud, corporate internal investigation, missing persons, tenant screening, person background investigation, fraud, counterfeit items, embezzlement, termination cases, tracking, surveillance. So it seems like it seems like Desiree got these guys for tracking and surveillance. Cause and they did it a little bit. They went a little bit beyond. They went a little bit above and beyond, and also kidnapped a woman for her. Security is a top priority in your first line of defense and risk mitigation. Sig9 Global utilizes a unique company culture developed through analytical studies of the security industry and working relationships between employer and employee. Sig9 Global company culture incorporates the power of professional belief system and combined with compassionate and supportive employment practices to maximize productivity and set an unprecedented tone for the security industry that will be recognized by our employees, clients, and public. Oh, it's being recognized. We recognizing it right now. As a result of our unique company culture and integrity, we protectively create a security plan for our clients and deliver exceptionally intelligent services to our clients. Okay. Um, I guess they completed the assignment for Desiree when it comes down to it. They did everything she asked them to do. Um, and some, so, and all the way down to following Javon, and they have, as you can see, they have armed guards. It says they have armed guards. It's something that they do. Executive Protection and Armed Security Services, okay, which I don't understand how, following somebody at dangerous proximity is protection. It just doesn't make sense. So they went far beyond that, and we got to put this company on blast, because at the end of the day, they're willing to be a hand and be operators of Desiree Perez. So it's important that we go ahead and call them out. Okay?
People. I'd rather go with anybody else in hip hop than go against. I keep telling y'all, and again, whatever you want to take from that, you could take from that. Okay? There was hacked phones, hacked accounts, yeah, track locations. Not surprisingly, her office is located at this. Okay. Okay. She filed screenshots. Okay. Okay. This is 64 pages, y'all. Y'all go read it. Y'all go read it. Y'all go read it.
Yeah, the whole thing when you look how they just arrested, there's a whole bunch of bullshit going on with that. Um, like I said, it's just important that we continue to watch and monitor what's going on there because it's just important that we hold Desiree and Rock Nation and whoever else is trying to, you know, do wrong by black men and artists in the industry and people in general who are innocent, framing people, doing all type of weird shit. Like, come on, we gotta call this shit out for what it is, okay? And that's the only way I see it. Let me real quick just make sure that we have touched all on that. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so free Tory. I think a lot of stuff like this will help his case, and I hope his legal team, I hope his lawyers, I hope they are looking at stuff like this. I hope they're taking stuff like this into account. I hope Congresswoman Luna, I hope this is on her radar. Okay, I hope she's seeing shit like this. I hope that they take the time to break this stuff down, read through her actions and see, what's normal for her and what's normal for her behavior. And yeah, so let's move on to the Diddy stuff, okay? Because we got to catch up with that now. We have to first recap a little bit of last week so we can catch us up to today. And we're going to read up to a little bit of what we have going on day uh 14. Okay, so last week it was a lot going on uh as far as, hold on, let me just pull up day 14. As far as this whole case goes, I spoke to my sources. It was a very fruitful conversation, um where we got to break down, some of their opinions on the case, and just to give add a little bit of context to what was going on exactly. Um, Now, one of the things that I got, and really what we should do is go back to day 13 real quick, just so I'm gathering everything up here. Let me go back to day 13. Actually, here, I'll just do this instead. Okay. So day 13 took place, and it was a lot going on. So I got a recap in some of their opinion on Dante Nash. He said he was very animated. He was definitely in performance mode when he was there. It didn't seem like he hated Diddy. Okay. They said the defense is trying to insinuate that Cassie and Deontay called to get their story straight and on the same page. In their opinion, it didn't seem like the defense wanted to play around with Deontay too much, just because he seemed like such a stark supporter for Cassie and in her favor, that they didn't want to take too much time really trying to rile him up. He seemed kind of likable in, some people's opinion and one of their opinion. He seemed likable. He kind of gave off a organic tone to him, and that he was a real person, an everyday guy, a person like you and me. So they didn't want to spend too much time with him because they didn't want him to sway uh, public opinion or the jury's opinion so much. So that's why it seemed like he might have been a good, they had a good day with him or two, but they didn't want to spend too much time with him, turning the tables too much. Um, they said he's ratchet and flamboyant. He was definitely a very ratchet and flamboyant, and you can kind of tell when reading through some of the stuff. If you listened while we were speaking through this, he gave off very ratchet, flamboyant. He had a bit of a unprofessionalism to him, which made him stand, a little bit more, stand out and be a little bit more real, I guess, or come off that way. Um, you said he was fearless against the defense. So Dante seemed like he still wanted to keep rapport with Diddy. Um, Said he also admitted to hooking her up with Michael B. Jordan proudly. He says, so I told my and they quoted, I don't know if they included this, if Inner City Press included this in there. He says, so I told my girl she needed to move on to the next dick in regards to Michael B. Jordan. And he said he was unapologetic about it. Um and and in this, so one of my sources, spotted two jurors in this whole, thing with Dante talking, and the other one then later confirmed that two jurors look at each other. They're black ladies, and after the reading of the text messages, they are um, they said they're definitely on the same page, and it's not Diddy's. So the two black women on the juries, they're kind of already calling it. They're gonna call it guilty for Diddy. Okay, that's in their opinion. They think that these two black ladies, there's no coming back from them. There's no change in their minds. And it seems like they're both on the same page. They've kind of both cozied up to each other. It says Diddy is and probably came in with preconceived notions. Um, no, they said sorry. They told me, and they said they definitely know who Diddy is. So they seem very, as they described to me, they seem very up to date with the little bit of lingo. They kind of picked up that, okay, these ladies know certain terms. They pick up on certain lingo that Dante was saying. So it was kind of easy for them to be like, okay, they know who Diddy is. They definitely know. These women are online. They see these stories. They're probably on X. They're probably on Instagram. They're watching all this stuff. They probably know about the Shade Room, all of this shit. So they're probably pretty privy to what is going on when it comes down to Diddy, and they've seemingly made their mind up. Okay, so Deontay had the people laughing and came off more relatable, as I said. Um, when Diddy, there's a note about Diddy that I had, a couple of notes about Diddy that they gave me was Diddy seems to be speaking to a bunch of high profile reporters and media when he's come in. It seems like people that he's starting to recognize or whatever he's starting to speak to, and it seems like the bigger people who are there reporting on it, he seems to want to speak to and kind of project his charm, or whatever, or project a softer persona to these people. So he's coming in, he's greeting them. It almost seems like he wants to kind of make it so that they speak on him a bit more favorably. Okay, you get to speak to Diddy. He's acknowledging you. He's nice. He's charming. So it seems like he's kind of trying to play into that. As one of the notes that I had. It says Diddy seems very calm, collected, and unbothered. So this is while Mia is on the stand and she's going through, all of this stuff that she's saying, and you know and I'm gonna just say neither one of my sources were buying the the Mia story all the way. Okay, they just weren't. They believe the stories about Cassie and stuff like that because that's obviously known. We've seen the videos, stuff like that. But when it comes down to her being essayed in multiple different occasions, um, they start not to believe it all the way, and we'll get into why. Okay, um, so they said Diddy seemed very calm and collected because while she's detailing through these stories, and as we are reading it here in the documents, and we're going through everything. Um, you see that you know she's going through some pretty graphic occasions, her getting a computer thrown at her, this, that, the third. But at the same time, uh, it seemed like she kind of kept some type of interest in Diddy. So I got another note that said the entire prosecution has their hair in a ponytail when they came in. I don't know why, what it signifies, but they seem to be, in close unity with each other, but I don't know what that means. So maybe we just note that and save it for later. We got it written down, but that's just a note of what is being seen and what's going on in the courtroom. It says Diddy's still trying to charm, and he even helps his lawyer into a seat. He's being very charming. He's being very nice to all the women. He's trying to come off as very gentle and whatnot, gentleman like. Okay, while he's in the courtroom in front of the jury, of course, it's obvious. Um, it said Deontay moved on because he was too much for the defense, as I mentioned earlier. It says Mia walked in with 7 people. So when Mia came in first, and this is interesting to note because I didn't, you wouldn't know this. And when I was looking for Mia, if you guys were watching with us that day, when I was looking for, an image of Mia, it was hard to find an image of Mia because she didn't, and she also didn't give her last name, okay? Which she's the, I guess, private witness. But I got a note that says Mia walked in with 7 people, well dressed. Um, she hides her name, and they were not allowed to describe her. Okay, nobody was allowed to describe her that made it into court. And reports, you were not allowed to describe what she looks like. And it made me suspect that she may have walked in with these 7 people so that you wouldn't necessarily know which one is Mia. Because even like as they told me, there was like 7 people walked in at first, and until she took the stand, you didn't know who Mia was. You didn't know which one was Mia. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know who was who. So that was a kind of a, I guess, like a smart ploy for her to like hide her identity, but she definitely, it's definitely something that she did. When she came in, they said she kept looking down and talking low, basically mumbling, fidgeting, could barely be heard, never looked at the jury. So this is what they're telling me while they're looking at her. They say when they asked her about, the place, and she was talking about working with Diddy, she said it was a chaotic workplace, but it was exciting. That was one of the sound bites that we got from that. It seems like she was reading off of something, the way she kept looking down, basically. They said it seemed like she was almost reading off of something, because one of them was like, I had to ask myself, why does she keep looking down like that? Like, why does she just the whole time she's just reading like this, and she's answering questions like this, and she doesn't really want to talk, and she's trying to be very, and it's just not, they're like, the way she doesn't, she never looks at Diddy. She never looks at um she never looks at Diddy. She never looks at um the jury. And I don't even think she looks at the judge. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest. I don't even think she um I don't even think she looked at the judge. I do got a super chat I'm just now seeing. They said Chris let Tory borrow 250K for lawyer fees. Oh, see? That's what it was. They didn't like that. Shout out to you, yo Fatima. Appreciate you for stopping in and watching with us. If you still are in here, I definitely appreciate that. I knew it had to be something. I knew it had to be something that Chris Brown did that they were like, you know what? We got something for you, nigga. You over here sending this nigga money and trying to help him fight the power or some shit like that. Hell no, nigga. Fuck out of here. Um. So, but back to what I was saying. So yeah, it seemed like she was reading off of something. She was very, timid when she came in and when she was reading. So as you see us reading through, and I'm just making sure that everything is on the up and up. That's why I see my boy dropped out. I had to make sure we were still good and make sure we were still live. But as we're reading through all of this, I'm reading it, and you wouldn't know that she's just looking down like this and barely answering, and it's just crazy. So they were a little bit. One of them was very annoyed with Mia's testimony, okay, and having her there. And mind you, she's gonna be there for a little minute, okay. So we already know with Diddy, she worked 24 hours a day, as she said. She took a beating. What is Oh, it took her beating. Yeah, one of the things that, and I don't even think that Inner City Press included in there, but she talked about how it took her basically hitting on herself, smacking herself, trying to smack herself and keep herself awake for Diddy to finally say, do you good? Like do you need to sleep? Do you need some rest? The fuck is wrong with you? And that's when she finally got some rest. Okay, it's crazy. Um, her family left for lunch during direct, and they didn't want to be in. So it's important to note, which is also something that you don't get from here, if with us just reading live with the updates. But her family left for lunch. They didn't even want to hear anything, the recalling of what she had to go through when it came down to Diddy. And I don't know, this makes me wonder about the validity of her story and if she is really telling the truth about the essay thing. Okay, again, I said we're going to get deeper into it, but it's just to note, because there's about 3 or 4 occasions that she goes through talking about these moments with Diddy where he basically essayed her, but it doesn't necessarily, and what the defense obviously is trying to prove it when we get to it, is that it doesn't seem like a relationship that or that you are super scared of this man and he traumatized you and this, that, the third, and it doesn't really seem like that. So with her family leaving, it almost, and just to wrap up what I'm saying here, it almost feels like I haven't told them this stuff. They have never heard these things, and I don't want them to hear it. So with that being said, it makes me wonder, well, if all of these things went on with you and Diddy, he traumatized you, you've moved on, you left the company, whatever, how have you not broken down and told your family? But now this is almost like this is the first time you're saying these things. I'm guessing, because this is what I guess this is the narrative that they're at least trying to run with. I don't know if it's the truth or not, but you're trying to come off as if this is the first time you're saying these things, and it doesn't necessarily seem like that's the case. It just doesn't. When you ask yourself why she hasn't talked to any of the people in her family about these things and they left, it makes you wonder, okay, well, are these stories real? You know, you have the question and wonder: are these stories real? Are these things and these recallings real, or is this something that you just remixed for the jury? Okay. It says, as she recalls getting thrown into the pool, we talked about Diddy throwing the ice bucket over her head, and she was scared that Diddy would see what's in her phone, so she jumped on his back trying to get her phone away from Diddy, and he threw her into the pool. One of them said, you know, they told me while she's recalling getting thrown into the pool, Diddy is barely paying her any attention. Okay. Now, this is the interesting thing here because, you know, they tell me and they both can confirm to me and say, you know, Diddy didn't react too much. But when she gets to talking about this essay stories, those were the first time he reacts. Okay? When she starts talking about the essays, that's when he reacts. So, um, let me see if that is on this day. I'm not gonna return to other days because I want to stay on day 13. Um, but this is still the prosecution talking to her, so I'm guessing this is this will contain it. And I just want to get this to be so you guys can flow with me here and see how we were going through this step by step, and it was being broken down to me what was going on in the courtroom. But I want to get to the essay stories. um did you contact Mr. Combs again? D-Rock. um Anything to do with the person. So this is where I was about to say cross contamination. This is where cross examination comes in. Um, this is where a little bit they're talking about this stuff, and Brian Steele starts crossing. Okay, so she starts talking about um, have he ever made you take drugs against your will at Burning Man? She says, right. Um, they said, Mr. Cohn's birthday is significant to you. Did you do shots with him? They said, yes. And they asked, alcohol overcame you, right? She says, yes. He says, you believe you were drugged? She said, I didn't say that. A person you really don't know put his mouth on your mouth without your permission, right? She said, yes. His hands up your dress and into your person. Remember that? It was paralyzing. She says, yes. He says, you wake up in a chair. You told the jury that. She says, yeah, I did. But this message and this one, another same day posting the anniversary of you being sexually assaulted by Sean Combs, according to your testimony. She says, I don't celebrate it as the anniversary of that, but his birthday. So they note that the defense wants to paint her as upset that she was fired. They're saying all of this stuff because you don't really, you know, you don't really hate this man. You're not really traumatized by this man, like you say you are, at least. Um, they say that the essay stories was the first time Diddy reacts when she talks about leaving the job unfinished. Remember, she was crying and sniffling, talking to the prosecution, and I believe that was in the previous day, day 12. But she was talking about how, oh, it was very quick, Anytime he did anything to me, it was very quick. And she started sobbing. And then she talks about, oh, he didn't like to leave a job unfinished. And it was just like, what? So Diddy was just in there looking at her like, what? So one of them was like, yo, yeah, Diddy was completely over her bullshit. Like, that was the only time he kind of reacted. Okay. So, and it makes me wonder if that's the reason why she is so timid, fidgety, not looking up, barely speaking, because I don't know, maybe it's hurting her to tell these stories and tell these, maybe it's a lie. Who knows? Okay. Um, this is when, one of them tell me, look, I don't believe Diddy raped her. She most likely F Diddy. So in these instances that she's recalling, she most likely F Diddy. Another one says she's great at using these one liners, these catchy buzzwords, about how she was just abhorred, and she was so I felt like I was such a victim. I was so scared, and oh, he didn't leave a job unfinished, and these little one liners. It seemed very rehearsed, like she was ready to really put that on Front Street. um they asked why the essay wasn't included in the lawsuit, and this is just a note that one of them asked, um which is a valid thing. Why isn't the essay included in the lawsuit that she put? Remember, she was talking about how she did sue them for 10 million. They settled for 200,000 or 400,000. 200,000 went to her lawyers and 200,000 she kept. But they asked, why wasn't essay included in the lawsuit? Because if you're getting sued for 10 million, you're going for 10 million. If you include SA in that lawsuit and what had really happened to you in that lawsuit, you would get that money. So this is when the other one agrees that, yeah, it definitely seems like she lies a lot. Okay. Um, she also talked about having PTSD. She couldn't work anymore because somebody would call for her or ask for her, wonder where she's at, and she would completely start you know, losing her shit. She would start losing her mind, apparently, because she has this PTSD. She starts shaking. She can't work for anybody. She can't read emails. She can't miss deadlines or anything. She just basically starts panicking anytime uh, she is doing anything that apparently reminds her of Diddy. So one of them said PTSD sounds like a bit much, but she claims she can no longer work. So they get to the exhibits. Um, they showed a picture of her and Diddy in matching scrubs. Diddy, Amia in a hospital robe, and basically like Diddy was like she was giving birth and Diddy was the doctor in the photo. And this was supposedly a day after the dress slip. So this is what all of this, where they're asking her like, hey, don't you remember us telling do you remember telling, you don't remember how many times you were sexually assaulted? She says, I don't know if I phrased it that way. They said, this has ruined you, right? And you were broken, yes? She says the sexual abuse was part of the way he ruined me, yes. They said, you wrote thank you for being a good kind of crazy, inspiring me every day. She says, I don't think people wrote bad stuff about their life on Instagram back then. They said, why'd you promote it? She says, it was my job to promote it. It was a cycle of ups and downs. She said, when he was calling me his best friend, I wasn't afraid of him. They said, you wasn't afraid of the man who stole your innocence? So this is the get to, like I said, the dynamic that's going on with them, and they're trying to ask her questions like that and then show her pictures like like such as what the one I described. Um After they asked her after the about the picture, which I wish I had the exact spot. Sometimes when you refresh it, sometimes when you refresh it, you just completely lose your spot. But let me see. Speaking the same issue, let me go a little bit further. As this is getting back into it. They asked, what were you doing here? She says, promoting Puff's appearance for Blackish. It's a comedy show. They said, were you aware of the Me Too movement? That was a great movement. She said, yes. They asked, what are these? He said, me and Puff at Burning Man, then on Backlash. They said, you love Miss Ventura? You meant every word of your social media account? She says, I didn't mean every word on my account, but I do love Cass. They asked, what is this? She says, a pop-up shop for D-Rock's brand, Invisible Bully. They asked, you promoted Mr. Combs? She says, yes. They said, you're saying this is not the way you felt? She said, they said objection. It was sustained. How about the you are the best unicorn rock star alien? She said, I was trying to say it unique. They said, what is this photo? And she says, you worked through March of 2017. She said it was confusing. They said on December 6th, you were notified. She says, I was getting mixed messages. They said, what's this? She said, I was promoting the Bad Boys reunion tour. I was doing the documentary on. They said, I'm going to show you something. They said, you remember this? She said, it was nice of me. They said, you made this and gave it to Mr. Combs? She said, yes. What did you write at the top? She said, sometimes life goes by at a catastrophic speed. I hope on this day you can sit back and consider I made this book of articles from 1991 till now. So did you mean those words? She said, yes. He said it to me. I used the book at the world. I used to look at the world the way you do, but now I've done everything. It was sad. He said, the man you say ruined your life. She says, I can tell you what my therapist has said. They said, how could you do this? He said, it's called psychological abuse. No one did anything. They said, what could be more terrible? Okay. They said, where is it that you confronted him and said, you have violated me sexually or otherwise? And he said, I need your help. They said, objection is overruled. She said, after St. Bart's, I confronted him about his behavior, not the other thing. They said, you told Cassie that she's a superstar and she could get the money. She said, I don't remember that. Aren't you lying about Mr. Combs' misbehavior? She says, I have not lied to anyone at all. Is it true that that it did not happen as many times as you just stated? She said, everything I said in this courtroom is true. They said, why did you make him the scrapbook? They said, you could talk to an expert about sexual assault, she says. Could we hand the scrapbook to the jurors? And then they take the scrapbook. And in this, when that accent, Mia is stuttering bad when they ask her about that certain photo. They said, they said I'm just trying to tie this up with my notes that I'm getting from my guys. She says that a lot of the stuff that she's doing she's just faking it for Instagram. Now, let me get to that part, which is probably before. So when she's talking about the scrapbooks and they're going through certain photos, um, in the Instagram photos, they say they tell me about one photo where she's basically tooted up. Okay, which is they don't include all of this, which is why it's hard to find and follow along with it because I'm getting extra information on the side. But they describe this photo to me where Mia is tooted up. Okay, and that's the note that I got. She is tooted up. Diddy is behind her, and in response to that, she says she's faking it. She was faking it for Instagram, but it just sounds like another lie. This is when they start questioning, when the defense starts hitting her, and then they break to the for the end of the day. After most of this, after she's saying everything is true, yada yada, they break for the day after that. But this is when they start asking and questioning, did Diddy actually, essay her? Um, is she just trying to save face? Because Cassie doesn't might not necessarily know that her and Diddy have been romantic on several occasions. Okay? So is she just trying to save face for Cassie because she still has a good relationship with Cassie? Um they note that it only seemed, and this is what they're telling me while they're listening to her testimony in the courtroom. They said it only seemed like when speaking about Cassie that she was actually genuine. So only when speaking about Cassie did it seem like she was actually, you know, being genuine in her stories and wasn't cracking and breaking and having a hard time remembering things, which was another note that I got that she had a hard time remembering the facts of a lot of stuff. Um, they said it seems like she was putting it on thick. She seems to be speaking with Cassie. Um, and they also note when there was an altercation that went on outside of the courtroom um, with the YouTuber D Not. He was knocked out by a secret. No, he was knocked out by Gene Deal outside of the courtroom that day, and apparently it's pretty funny. Okay. Um, then they ask, after all of this things, just wrapping it up, and you get to some of the things where after we got through the case and we just pretty much talked and brainstormed on some stuff. Some of the questions that we asked ourselves was, did Diddy really treat her that bad when he's shown her the world? That's something that they kind of wanted to project, at least. Um, is this why she can't look at Diddy? Is it because she's not being completely truthful about the events going on in her and Diddy's interactions, the love that they kind of had for each other, etc., etc. Um, one of them noted that it seemed like she was making. It seems like she was just doing way too much, and it seemed like, in their opinion, Brian was making her look like a joke. Um, they said she came off very coached. Okay, they said while listening to her in there, a lot of the things that she was saying, she came off very coached. It seems like she was, you know, speaking with Cassie or speaking with someone to kind of get her story straight before she got on the stand. It said whenever Brian would catch her up in something, it seems like she would just reset back to, these buzzwords and one-liners that, kind of are meant to invoke emotion, from the jury. And that's the part about her that kind of seemed coached in a way that, whenever Brian Steele would catch her up and ask her questions about inconsistencies in her story, she would kind of just reset into how she feel and how Diddy made her feel and how she's a victim in all of this and whatever. um she was acting like she couldn't see certain photos even inches away from her face. It was really starting to piss one of my sources off. Um, they said she started acting like she also couldn't hear certain things. So when somebody's playing like, whoa, like what? They're asking her, what is this? You see me read a couple of times. I'm saying, what is this? They're showing her pictures, and she's over here like, what? And just looking around. She's acting like she can't hear stuff, and they gotta repeat it back to her. Um, they said it's hard to believe these stories when all she posts is Diddy. So while we're going through all of these posts of Diddy, it says, did you make Mr. Combs a birthday video, as you see on the screen? Like, they're asking her these certain questions. Um, and they're trying to kind of trying to poke holes in her story. They say it's hard to it's hard to believe that this is the man that traumatized her, and they didn't have some type of intimate relationship when all she posts is Diddy. Then they said she starts to backtrack a little bit, and one of them note that she seems upset really because she lost her lifestyle, and that's an angle that we're gonna see in today, day 14, when we get to that's an angle that the defense really tries to play into. Um, they said the other one says she's obviously a powerful woman playing weak and timid. Um, she's definitely smart. She's definitely capable, and she's playing this weak, timid woman on the stand. Um, they said she loves Diddy more than she lets on, and that she's trying to get her lick back for being dropped and I guess being in the situation that she's left in. Okay, it kind of sucks, but that's where it seems like she's at with things. Now, if we get into day 14, let's get into day 14 and get that over and done with, okay? Um, because I'm sure we have more things going on here today. So in day 14, we have more steel cross of Mia, then Garcia to take the fifth. Okay, whoever Garcia is. So Eddie Garcia for an hour and a half. Then we think the video expert witness Jane will be given an international flight. So we'll have to try to get her on before. Okay, let's get back to them talking to Mia. They say nothing further. So the prosecution comes back. They say Mia was posting to social media part of your job. She said yes. They break for whatever reason. And then they say, Mr. Steele, you may proceed. So I don't know what happened there. Hold on. Let me just make sure we're not missing anything. Okay. Yeah. We're getting there. It was a little disjointed there. So, hold on. Damn, how the fuck we get this far already? Hold on. Because we're not this far yet. I don't know how we got this far. Um, this is them talking to Garcia first, though. Okay. So they seem to bring Garcia in before they get back to Mia. They ask, did you receive a subpoena to testify at this trial? He said, yes. Do you intend to invoke your Fifth Amendment rights? He says, yes. Have you seen the proposed immunity order? He says, yes. Your Honor, on the basis that we propose you sign this immunity order, he says, done. They say, bring in the witness Mia. She comes back. Okay, so they bring Mia back. All right, and she's ready to hop back on the stand. So, okay. Mia comes back in. Jerry comes back in. We're on day 15 now. So I gave you guys a little recap of me talking to the some of my guys that are down in New York who are there, and they're doing their due diligence just like everybody else, and facing all the crazy shit that comes with this trial and outside of it. Now we're on day 14. We're on today, okay? And we're going to pick up from where we left off, all right? So they should be continuing with Cross, yes. So, Mr. Steele, you may proceed. He shows a picture. They say, Your Honor, we renew our objection. They say, Mr. Steele, are we just going to show this video? You haven't laid any type of foundation. Take the video down. He said, did you work as an assistant to someone? They said, maybe 2008 to 2007. I'm not sure. Who's someone? You had a resume saying you had the ability to multitask and had thick skin. She says, I'm not sure I wrote that. She said that you were able to deal with uncomfortable situations 24/7. They said objection, reading for document, not in evidence. They said overruled. He said, did you use this as your CV? She says, it looks like it. Then they said for admission, it was admitted. They said, you went to James Madison University. It's a well-known institution. She said, yeah, sure. Then you were a design assistant. She says, yes. They said in 2008 and 2009, you provided around-the-clock support, all personal and professional needs, keeping passports. They were all collected. She says, I don't exactly remember. I didn't travel, she says. It says, but you traveled with Mr. Combs' companies. She says, oh, yes. So when you said they had your passport, they had everyone's passport, true? She says, yes. They said, you're a strong person. She says, I'm good at teaching people, not necessarily at enforcing things. They said, you were a leader. Now, remember, I told you, we just read, it seemed like, one of my guys picked up. They picked up on it. That said, it seems like she's a confident woman, that she's playing into this act, but she's way more of a stronger and confident woman than she lets on. Okay, I told you this. It says, so they had everyone's passport. Yeah. So you're a strong person. She said, I'm good at teaching people, not necessarily at enforcing things. And then Steele says, but you're a leader. She says, I don't know about that. He says, you speak up for yourself. She says, no. He says, but you empower other people, true? She says, yes. He says, let's look at your text messages in 1730. She says, it sounds like me. He says, show the jury 1733. Says, you left Mr. Combs employed by March 2017. She said, yes. What did you write to Mr. Combs for Christmas 2018? Please read it. She says, Merry Christmas. I love you. And the New Year's. I had just seen him at Kim's funeral. They said, you reached out to him? She said, absolutely. She said, this 2019 message. She says, I wrote I had a nightmare. I was being chased by R. Kelly, and you saved me. They said, the person you say raped you saved you? He said, objection. They said, need to rephrase. They said, what did he write to you? He said, sending you all the love in the world. They said, you were not in his grip anymore. She said, it's psychological. They asked, why do you keep referring to psychology? Why did you do this? Kim Porter's tragic death was 5 months before. Shy were you reaching out to Mr. Combs? She says, 5 months is not a lot. They asked, what didn't you understand that Mr. Combs was brutal to you? How did you write this? They said, objection is argumentative. They said, Mr. Steele, let's have a very brief sidebar. They came back. He says, now, May 14th, 2020, and you texted Mr. Combs, what? She says, my heart is broken about Dre. In my spirituality, I know when people are done with the physical world, it's that they have completed their mission. I love you. Again, she says, I love you. She said, what's this about? She said, he auditioned for the James Brown part, but that Chad Bosman got it. I told Puff I'd email him videos of his audition. He said, you cared about a video camera? He said, he required me to do it. Per a pre-iPhone, I was required. He said, do you have any footage of Mr. Combs berating you? She said, objection, it's overruled. It says, I would not have been allowed to record that. It says, do you have anything of Mr. Combs berating you? Audio or anything? So it would have violated confidentiality. It says, you have no text messages? She says, they should. I guess she meant they should be on one direct. I guess that was a typo. Showing what? They ask. She says, Puff saying, fuck it, let's go to war. She said, nothing else? He says, only reaching out to other people in the office, things others had seen. What did you write here? She says, I wrote, we had so many funny memories. Oh my God. Anything in your phone about being brutalized by Mr. Combs? She says, I don't think so. How would we find out? She says, objection, it was sustained. They say, Mia, didn't you have time away from Mr. Combs to write today he sexually assaulted me? He says, I did not have time, and I would not have written that. On August 29th, 2020, he wrote to you, glad you're well, love. Please send me the footage for the doc. It's 2020. The Me Too movement is strong for 2 years. You could say I remember the bad times, right? She says, I would never have said that because it's not true. They said, objection, it's overrules. They said, you wrote that? She says, love you too. I wrote so many crazy things, like Mick Jagger trying to take me home, and that Baccarat game, my pink bedazzled iPhone. There's trillions of stories. Of course I'll send it to you. I was bamboozled by Heather. Remember the scrapbook I made you? I got you. Why didn't you write, you bamboozled me? She said, because I was brainwashed. They asked, by whom? She said, Puff. They asked, how did he bamboozle you with part of his body in your without consent? They said, objection, it was sustained again. What does brainwashing mean? He said. She said, the highs were really high and the lows were really low. I was punished whenever Puff was violent. making me believe I had done something wrong. He was praised by the public. You were aware of the Me Too moment? No outcry of you. Why? He said he was going to tell Cassie what happened. I internalized blame and shame. They asked who threatened to, and it sounds like she might be getting some coaching from her therapist as well. He said he was going to tell Cassie what happened. I internalized blame and shame. Brian Steele comes back and asks, who threatened to tell Miss Ventura about Mr. Combs supposedly sexually assaulting you? She said, Puff. Why didn't you respond? Great. Let's tell everyone what you did to me. They said objection. The judge said, let's move on. They said, you said that you have a moral obligation to speak up. She said, now I do. They said, why not in 2017? She said, I was brainwashed. Mr. Steele says, when did you first say me too? She says, when I first saw him being held responsible. Now I have therapy. Mr. Steele says, Mr. Combs wrote, I gotta find that. You got a copy. What does it refer to? She says, I think he means the James Brown video. Mr. Steele says, scrapbook. She says, I think I have PDFs. I think I gave it to you for your B-Day in your house in Mapleton. I customized that purple leather suit so you could walk, not giving a F. If y'all can find it, I will. But I didn't. They said, Mr. Combs had a PDF. Mia said, I thought so. Yes, what did you write here? She says, my grandma went into hospice, so I have to fly out. I have to miss your event here in my hometown. She said, fucking crush it and make history. Heart emoji. They said, deepest sympathy for your grandmother. She said, thanks. What was this about? She said, there had been some terrible event with the police. Pharrell organized an event to change the narrative of Beach Week, which I think is a college thing. You wanted to see Mr. Combs? She said, I did not. I only said so. My hometown of Virginia Beach doesn't usually get this type of attention. They asked, you were telling the jury you were scared of Mr. Combs, true? She said, true. I was scared of him when he was scary. Listen to 1750. Tell me if you recognize it. They said, move to admit. The judge said, let's have a sidebar. They're back. They go on break. Okay. They said, until now, I had been objecting to exhibits and turning over private correspondence of this witness. We have now sat through hours of humiliating cross. Mr. Steele has insulted this witness, saying things like, God forbid, after things she said. Now, this is when, as they said today, it seemed like Brian Steele was bullying the witness, okay? It said, one by one, Your Honor, let these exhibits in, but now, cumulatively, we have reached harassment. Given the tone, we do not think continuing this is appropriate. She has carried herself with grace. This is adding to trauma. Eyes are on this trial. It's that other victims in other trials will become aware of this. The judge says, I have not seen yelling. My understanding is that this, God forbid, is an apology, not an attempt to intimidate. But the argumentative questions, is Mr. Steele here? He says, you're repeating yourself. If I feel you're asking questions just to ask them, I'm going to tell you to move on. Understood? And Mr. Steele says, I understand. The judge says, I don't see improper treatment here, Miss Comey. But, remember Miss Comey, but I will continue to watch. They said, I saw photographs, 1799, 1 through 25. The judge says, can I see them? He says, we don't have stamped versions of these, so on and so on. Let's get back to Mia coming back in. All rise. Mr. Combs says, Mr. Steele, Brian Steele, says, you and Miss Ventura were best friends, fair? She says yes. He said, you said she was your sister, or like a sister to you. She says yes. He said, you loved her. She said, absolutely. And you feel the same way today. She says, yes. You would never lie to her, would you? She says, Puff didn't allow me to tell her things, like where he was, anything he said. Was Miss Ventura in love with Mr. Combs? She said, I thought so. Did you ever tell the person she loved raped you? Pause. Or graped you? Sorry. She said no. Did you remember telling Mr. Combs brain? Do you remember telling her Mr. Combs' brain need to be rewired? He said, they asked, may we have a sidebar? They said, we may. They had a sidebar. He came back. They said, why would you cover up Mr. Combs to Miss Ventura? Why writing that Mr. Combs is just misunderstood? They said, objection. He said, rephrase. He said, did you tell Miss Ventura she needs to stay with Mr. Combs? She said, I don't remember that. He could find out what I was telling her. They said, how? She said, he had stolen my phone and Cassie's phone many times. He's put tracking devices on her car. They said, but you were alone with Miss Ventura. She said, yes. You sued Mr. Combs for $10 million. It was a mediation, she says. My lawyers ended up getting $200,000 and she got $200,000. She said, yeah. Please look at the screen. Is that your social media account? She said, it looks like text messages. Sounds like to me. It says, you're texting Mr. Combs. She said, I don't remember sending this. It says, you are in a tutu and Mr. Combs appears to be holding his private parts. In Miss Ventura's lawsuit, she alleged sexual abuse. They said, yes. Remember, I just told you this. Why did you still communicate with Mr. Combs? They say, objection. It was sustained. Now, remember, that's the photo where I described. She's tooted up. Combs is holding his she's tooted up on Diddy. Okay? They said, did you meet with the prosecutors in January 2024? She says, I may have. I don't remember the timing. Did you tell them Mr. Combs sexually assaulted you? She says, I don't remember when I told them. Okay? She says, I don't remember when I told them. She does. Remember I said she don't remember a whole lot of shit. Did you get a lawyer? She says, yes. The lawyer, who had 45 days earlier obtained a unanimous judgment. They say, objection, it was sustained. They said, why did you hire her? They said, objection, it was sustained. He said, let's move on. It says, your first alleged sexual assault in June 2024. She says, I don't remember the timing of things. The rest, I can't get into. I understand it's privileged. They say, objection, it's sustained. They said, let's have a sidebar. Again, they come back. They said, let's talk about Prince's party. You said you had no permission to go there, but you knew many people who knew Mr. Combs would be there. They said, rephrase. It says, did you wear a disguise? She said, no. Any photo of a chase? She said, no. You say Miss Ventura got into a paddleboard. You and Miss Ventura got into a paddleboard into a storm. She said, yes. They said, any recording of that? She said, no. Any note or text message to prove it happened? She says, I don't think so. We were on a paddleboard. Did you make it up? She said, no. You said you had no time with family. Did you ever go to events with your family and friends? She said, sporadically over 8 years, but few and far between. She said, Brian Steele says weddings. She says sister and best friends, I believe. Halloween. She says, I don't remember. You had times with others, right? She said, I had to be in communication 24/7. I was never outside his grip. Outside of the work environment, why couldn't you explain the abuse you say you were experiencing? She says it was more complicated than that. Isn't it true that other than a few times Mr. Combs was violent with Miss Ventura, which was never okay, you were comfortable with Mr. Combs? The judge says you have to rephrase. He rephrases and says, you never advised Miss Ventura to leave him? She says no. Until 2024, you never told anyone you were sexually abused. She says, unless it was to my privileged therapist. That's true. What did I tell you? She made her family leave when she first started testifying. Because to me, that move told me that she hadn't told her family members this stuff. They hadn't heard this stuff. And she doesn't want them to hear this stuff. Which I don't understand how they're not with all of these sound bites coming out, with all of these, you know, uh, bites from the case coming out. But it's amazing. It's amazing to me. Um, they didn't say. They didn't say. Um, this is the crazy shit right here. Could you waive that privilege? He says. They say objection. He says move on. They said you joined the Me Too money grab against Mr. Combs. They say objection. They said you knew Miss Ventura received money from her lawsuit against Mr. Combs. She said it was public, but you speak with Miss Ventura. They said never about anything I discussed with the government. They said how would we know that? They say objection. It was sustained. So let me show you documents. Read it for yourself. And Your Honor, could we have a sidebar? They said yes. They have a sidebar. Um, the judge to Mia. When we come back, you will be shown documents. Have a good break. Okay? They have a break. They come back. The judge says, Mr. Steele, you may proceed. And he does. He says, Mia, were you able to review over the bread sum of your interviews with prosecutors? She said, yes. She said, and you didn't mention sexual abuse until 2024. She says, I don't remember the dates. Did you give all your material to the government? She says, I gave them to my lawyer. They gave them to the government. It says, look at this one. In these notes, did you raise sexual abuse to the prosecutors? They say objection, improper refreshment. They said overruled. Did you raise it in January 2024? She says, definitely not. The first meeting. She says, I don't remember each specific meeting, but I definitely didn't raise it in the first meeting. It said, and in this document that you just reviewed, the judge says, just ask her if recollection is refreshed. Mia says, no, not to the specifics. You never mentioned sexual abuse until you hired lawyer Sean Crowley. He says, I have no idea when I first mentioned it, except that it was after I had representation. He says, you intend to sue Mr. Combs for compensation. You want money. She said, no. He says, who have you worked for since? She says, Madonna. For how long? She said 8 months from April 2019. They said, when you did that, did Mr. Combs assist you in getting that job? She said, absolutely not. Says, so you were blacklisted? She says, no. He said, no retribution? She said, he took away the TV show, the credit I was promised. You told the jury you were surprised you were let go, right? She said, I did. You were let go for drinking. She said, no. You remember Miss Ventura's video called Official Girl? She said, yes. And King of Hearts and her song with Nicki Minaj, The Boys? He said, yes. And Nicki Minaj is well known. She says, yes. And Miss Ventura did the song Numb with Rick Ross. She did, she says. And I Love It with Fabulous. She said, yes. And do you remember Miss Ventura being in the studio with Kid Cudi? She says, I don't remember the specifics. And Mr. Combs himself? She says, yes. The TV show you mentioned, was it about to be, what was it about? She said, my experience. She says, how a person from a small town dealt with a person such as Mr. Combs? She says, a comedic version. It says, what about other films did you work on? She says, Dope, Lawless, Undefeated. Did you enjoy the projects? She said, yes. And you called the people a second family? She says, we all called it that. You thought Mr. Combs was a genius? She said at the time. You wanted to continue to work with Mr. Combs, right? She says, I wanted to continue following my dream. Do you know if Mr. Combs' company put more money into promoting Miss Ventura than any of its other artists? She says, I didn't absorb everything. They asked, who is Jason Wiley? Said he worked for the record label. In budgeting, right? Do you recall being given the opportunity to have your therapist notes be seen by the parties? They said objection. They had a sidebar. Says, you never called law enforcement, right? She says, I did not. You said when you were stopped while speeding in LA, Mr. Combs got you out of it, remember? She says, I do. Did you ever think of calling uh, anonymously? She said, no. When you said Mr. Combs hurt your arm, did you seek medical help? She says, no. I would have not, that would have not been allowed. Did you take photos? She says, no. Did you scream? She says, no, I was in shock. Before the 5 days you say you were awake, did you ever stay awake that long? She says, absolutely not. You testified you would give up all the money if there had not been sexual abuse. Any discussion that you will make money by testifying? She said, no. No, that's not even a thing. They said, Your Honor, can I set up those other matters? They said, yes, we'll break for that. They come back. Steele says nothing further. They said, member of the jury did not consider any of the testimony about the witness communication with the therapist, Miss Samizer. The prosecution comes back and says, Mia was posting to social media part of your job. Mia says, yes. As part of what you did, you post on your personal Instagram account. She says, yes. They ask, what did Mr. Combs do if he thought you were not doing your job? I'd be yelled at and humiliated. Did other employees also post for Mr. Combs' birthday? She said, yes. The birthday video, was it for Club Diddy? She said, yes. Did Mr. Combs co-own the water you were drinking? And did you say revolt in the projects you worked on? At the end, she said, yes. You posted about good, not bad times. She says, yes. Why did you want to make the person who abused you happy? She says, when he was happy, I was safe. Were you worried about your physical safety? She says, yes, I had been abused by Puff before. I knew his wrath. Did you engage in pro bono lawyer? She says, yes. Why did you meet with the government so much? She says, so my story could be understood. She said, why were you terrified? She said, of Puff and the repercussions. They asked, did the government tell you, did the government tell you what to say? I guess that's what they meant. She says, no, only to tell the truth. They asked, how do you feel about publicly speaking? She says, terrified. She said, can you explain that given that you've been in comedy? She said, can you explain that given that you've been in a comedy? She says, I had Puff's permission for that. They said, any comparison to testify about Mr. Combs sexually assaulting you here? She said, no. Why are you here today? She says, if I couldn't look my goddaughters in the eye and ever advise them what to do in this situation. They said, Mr. Steele, any recross? Mr. Steele says, no. They say, Mia, you may go unless you want to stay. Okay? All right. So that's it for Mia. And that's where we're going to leave off before they bring in the next witness, which is Sylvia Oken. Okay? This is the person who works at the Beverly Hill Hotel. And we'll get into her testimony. And again, I'll talk to my people and give you guys a little bit more context and what is going on here. Okay? We have been in here for just about a little bit over 3 hours now. And it's time to wrap it up. But I appreciate, of course, everybody who stopped into the Doja room. We are going to get back into it tomorrow, okay? But I have a meeting in the morning that we got to get ready for. and I got some business to handle, and we got some more facts and topics and other things to get to. Okay, so I want to continue doing these things for doing this stuff for you guys. Continue hitting heavy with the content. I appreciate everybody who stopped on the last episode, who is showing it love. Um, we're at 1,000 viewers for that episode. Okay, I appreciate everybody for stopping through and watching the full breakdown of Demore's case against Desiree Perez. Okay, we are going to continue talking about this shit every single day until justice is served, and we will continue to follow the case, continue to update you guys with new information about this case, because we need Tory Lanez to be free. Number one, we need things like this to stop happening to people like Tory, DDG, Chris Brown, Kanye, whoever. Okay, regardless, because this shit is just starting to go too far. Okay, we got niggas out here running through the industry like mafiosos. So it's important that you guys get in. Check out this video if you haven't already. Hit us with a retweet, hit us with a like. Go ahead and get this out to as many people as possible, because it's very important that people read, they listen, and they see for themselves what RocNation is capable of. Okay, it's very important in everything that we're doing. As we continue to break down this Diddy trial, we'll continue to update you with the facts of what's going on with Desiree Perez and RocNation and Demore. Okay, so I appreciate once again everybody for stopping through. To all my stoners, hippies, hip-hop enthusiasts, you have been in the Doja Room. I'm your boy Dope Boy Diesel. I will be back with you guys again tomorrow for day 15 of the Diddy trial. Okay, and for now, I'm out. I appreciate you guys for stopping in once again. All right, link up with me tomorrow. Come in. Get ready to tell me what's your favorite song on Vibes and Highs as well, okay? And I'm out. Hit that outro.
Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry only needs